and unplugged my internet by accident, and my internet was down for 4 days. And it was like, oh, we're testing, because they have to troubleshoot the normal way, right? But it was a guy that just disconnected the wrong. He just didn't read the right whatever number, and it's like, do you realize what 4 days of no internet means for me? Like, it's more important than running water. Like, it's like,
yeah, I could eat, dude. Well,
like, I don't need to shower for 4 days. I got to be on the internet.
I don't shower. Not even like I have water. I don't shower 4 or 5 days all the time. All the time, man. I'm a maybe twice a week shower guy. Pretty happy with it
so
too.
Just
man.
make sure
Bottled water to drink. Why the fuck can you eat water anymore?
If you're a Rogers internet technician, make sure that you unplug the right person's internet, not the wrong person's internet, because it means something to some people. You know.
For some reason, it's transmitting, but have you seen it? I'm not seeing it. Anybody in the chat? Okay, the viewers are counting up again, so maybe that's a good sign.
Okay, we're good.
Maybe hit play. Well, you can't play because it's offline, Jared. That would be why. Anybody reading this? Hello, chat. F. This is all very weird.
How do I pop out the chat again?
Yes, we're live. They are live.
Oh, nice.
I refreshed. Now I'm doing better. There we go. Now I can see the stream again. I had to refresh my dashboard. That's pretty sweet. And they say that the audio is left channel only. Let me fix that. I'm just going to copy left to right. Because I'm not going to start messing around with some bullshit. Oh yeah, because it is only in one channel.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There is only a left channel, so that's it. Okay, so it should be both channels. Yeah, the chat up there would be very helpful.
How's that?
Yeah, in fact, necessary.
I make it.
Can you look over here? Great.
Can I make this like bigger? How do I do that? Sweet.
All right, all black and white except those little red lines. It looks good, man. I should always stream black and white.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not in the set. The set that's in my garage, not quite in shape right now. Way better. If you saw it a month ago, you'd be like, holy fuck, what happened in your garage? But
yeah.
We've done so much fall maintenance. You know, I installed a garage door opener. Like I did.
Like
I fucking,
like overhead door opener?
Yeah, like I bought it from Home Depot. I brought it home. I watched YouTube videos for like 6 hours. I measured everything like so OCD. Realized the one that broke that had been previously installed is not about to be installed as well as mine was. And I pimped it, man. It took me 2 days almost.
You know, it was
cool.
I think that's a general thing. I shouldn't just be so useless as a handyman. Like I'm not a handyman, right?
Oh yeah, no,
but it's
terrible.
You just have to like spend time to do it because everyone can do it, right?
And it was the confidence. Once I did that, because Stacey laughed, she's like, "You're not gonna do it," and with her reverse psychology, I'm sure she wanted me to.
Yeah.
But once I tackled that, there's a lot of things that are a lot easier that I'm afraid to tackle and to hire someone to do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got to do a bit of drywalling. You know how simple that shit is? Holy fuck, dude.
Really?
Like painting, like actually cutting a thing, putting a drywall, putting a bit of plaster and painting again is like, dude, it's like a couple hours of work, and you pay people hundreds of dollars for that shit. It's like, yeah.
Should I start wiping my own ass?
Yeah.
Should I start doing that?
You might.
I should maybe start doing some stuff
But you
for
put
myself.
Rosita out of work?
Rosita, I know.
Rosita's my default Mexican labor name.
So when did you do drywall?
After the sewage backup, remember in my house?
Oh, yes.
And then as they were drywalling, and then it ended up being Billy, and my painter helped a bit with some advice. But yeah, Billy went to the store and bought a bunch of stuff, so I was there with him. He did the stuff, but I was there and I'm like with Billy, and he's like, hey, Billy, it's not like he's rocket scientist.
Billy
No, Billy's like, yeah,
do it.
no, I just mean like he sat down. I mean, he's got some experience. We sat down, put the shit in, and I was like, that's all you got to do to drywall? I'm like, holy fuck. I could probably do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's pretty funny.
Billy is confident because he's very experienced. And that's what I missed is the confidence, man. And the garage door opener gave me confidence.
And they'll help you. Like Home Depot will help you, right? You talk to people. You're like, how do I do this?
Oh, man.
Well, we want to sell you the product so that you buy it yourself and do it yourself. So let me tell you how to do it yourself. Pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're back. We haven't streamed in 5 months because we've both been so busy and traveling and And we just have so much to talk about. There's no way we're going to be able to talk about everything.
No, unfortunately.
I'm not logged into anything, but there you go. Nice.
I'm just going to do that because I can't read it.
Do it, yeah.
There we go.
Sweet.
God, I actually almost want to go, I got it. There we go. Whatever. Yeah, man.
Dara's here. Sweet. Hey, Dara.
There's been so much. Like I was thinking about from the last time we streamed, which I think was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Or something, yeah. So since then, I went on a massive European adventure. Went to the Davis Cup and had a crazy life experience with Team Canada, and lots of sports, man. Kids, not me. There's lots of kids. I mean, Kian, who was, wasn't alive very long. Last time we streamed is now 20 months. He's now this little dude. His personality's really emerged. He's a funny little guy, actually. It's pretty cool. So is family's grown. It's
yeah.
He's a monster. He's cute, man. I'll show pictures, but he's a cute one. Stacy still hasn't cut his hair. I say that because I would have cut it a year ago.
Really?
Yep. He has a man bun. Yeah, she ties it up and buns it.
That is
so
awesome.
He has it's actually kind of styling, except he gets called the she all the time. And then we say, oh no, it's a he. Then the granny kind of gives this look like cut his fucking hair. But he's gonna have darker hair like me. He's darker than Kian, and now it's coming in dark. His 2-year-old hair. So now he looks like someone that used to dye their hair but hasn't dyed it in a while. It's growing out. I'm like, Stace, that's the point when you gotta go. So I'm trying to negotiate his second birthday haircut, and I was nice and short, like yours short, boom, and he'll be like a different kid because it'll be dark hair.
2017 short on the sides.
Boom. Yeah. I noticed you got your styling short on the sides here.
Hey, I just 2017.
I have my 2017 goober dad. I'm out doing lawn maintenance in socks and sandals, and I'm not kidding. I'm out there breaking in socks and sandals.
Fine.
Oh yeah, man. Got my jogging pants on, and they're not the slim Roots nice ones. They're the kind that go like this at the bottom. Terrible.
Yeah.
But Stacy just really wants him to have fiddlesticks eyes. Seriously. Fiddle would be proud of the hair. I almost did it. I tried to go there, but I couldn't take it. Last year I grew my hair out throughout the winter, right? I don't know if you remember, and it got really, really, really long. But then it got too hot. It was just, even without a two-cut, it just got too hot. My hair's too thick, and I couldn't take it. I was just sweating inside my head all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
D-knots. Liquid and silico, man. Zero divers. Lots of names I have not seen in a long time. Queen of the Pwnage. Some of you I see. Yeah. It's the classics, man. Sweet.
Nice.
Awesome. The black and white's working for you guys? It's not too bad.
Not too pretentious?
Yeah. It's a bit pretentious, but that's okay.
Wow.
Sully!
Nice.
Sully had a funny story last night.
Oh, last night?
Yeah, last night.
What happened?
Can I tell your story, Sully? He told the clan chats. I figure it's kind of public.
Yeah,
Sully, still play Clash Royale, man. The shit's so good. You fucking stopped at the wrong time.
I stopped it before 2v2s and.
It's all 2v2.
Dude, I don't know half the whatever they call champions. I don't know whatever.
There's
they call
cards. There's
cards. I don't know half the cards.
It's
now.
It's not like Riot where you wouldn't recognize.
Kirshu just sub. Thank you.
Hey, Kirshu, man. Thank you, dude. Yeah, it's not like League. I tried to get back into League a couple weeks ago. I installed it. Holy fuck, dude.
Everything's the same. Everything's different.
It's there's no more runes and masteries.
I know.
There's no runes, no masteries. There's things on the ground that jump you in the air on the map. They added trampolines to basketball. That was the first. I'm like, they actually did. They did the trampoline basketball. It's just fucking leave it alone, man. It was really good. It was the biggest game in the world. Obviously, something about it was really good.
What necessitated that big change? I don't know. But I wish they were public with their thinking. Because,
maybe they are. If you read, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if you read their blogs, or whatever. Yeah. But maybe 90% of the players are like, I love this new mastery system. But I read my masteries, and they all have names, right? It's like Colossus, Tenacity, or whatever, blah blah blah. It's like they don't. But they don't. What they don't say is +5 attack speed, or plus this, or plus this % this.
Yeah, there's new words. I don't know what they do.
All these words, and it's like, well, what does that word mean? I know what it means.
Devastating. And it's like, well, how so? Devastatingly thick armor?
Yeah.
Is it impenetrable, or is it devastatingly sharp sword?
So I just wish they told you the math that changed in the calculations of the damage you take and deliver with different.
And that's totally the trend.
Just tell me the math. Right? Don't tell me the feeling of my masteries. It's like, that doesn't help at all. It's like...
Seriously, the default masteries, they're all just named.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's like, just give me a list of the stats that it changes of my damage output and intake, you know? It's like...
Do you play PUBG? Forky brings up PUBG. It's all about that PUBG now. Have you played that?
I've seen stream. In fact, Dara's been posting a lot of PUBG I've seen on Facebook, and I've seen...
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've seen some hilarious videos, and I think it's great. I think it's a great trend in gaming to have like everybody's equal, and they go in with the same thing, and like they battle it out. Yeah, and the best player wins. You know.
Well,
like,
lucky a bit. Like
overall,
it's yeah.
But yeah, there's obviously dice rolls in gaming, right? But
yeah, this is not the direct luck of you rolled you rolled a 6 and you're dead.
Yeah.
I just mean the luck of like you happen to look that way when the guy happens to come in the corner. Like there's that kind of luck. But anyways, the Michael Davison. Haven't seen Jared on Destiny. You spelled my name wrong, man. Come on, we worked together how long?
The Michael Davison.
I don't spell Michael wrong. The fuck, man. No, you know what happened was the Davis Cup, right? So Destiny came out. I played it those first few days. Was actually kind of digging it, even though the community was slowly turning against it already. And I was digging it casually because I can't play it like I used to. And Derek's loving it. We were kind of casually loving it, but then so I was kind of into it, and I was having some fun. And then I went to the Davis Cup, and I was gone for like 5 days. And I came back, and everyone's like, they're already raiding, and everyone's like, like near max level already in like a week, right?
So the game design is such that if you fall behind,
no, I could have spent 5 days and caught up because they were almost max kind of thing. But it was the combination of being behind that makes me just like not want to catch up and not play. It just dissuades me from playing at all. And also the fact that people were maxing that quickly. And then I started to read about the fact that there's no like loot drops in the bosses. You just get tokens and you cash in later for something and stuff like. They took away fundamental things that were so fun. And then of course the play itself, the PvP. I mean the list, like there's a massive backlash right now against Destiny 2.
Really?
Oh yeah, the developers just like this week Bungie posted a big thing talking about their future changes that we're listening and this and that. But there's such like massive doesn't describe the size of that development studio compared to most development studios, right? Like this is a Blizzard level shit. The credits in Destiny blew my mind. The Destiny 2, like when you win Destiny 2,
it goes on and on and on and on.
Dude, it's unbelievable. There are more people on the social media team than at Supercell that made Clash Royale.
Wow.
That makes $1 billion a year.
Yeah.
They had more social media specialists. What the fuck is a social media specialist? Like,
well, maybe they're not paying them anything, and they just give them
a credit, I guess. But it was just like this endless names. I know they're social media specialists, but you need 12? Really? They get in a big room. It's like a think tank. Like, what's the fucking hashtag today? It's just not hard. It's like
Isaac Wilson's here. Thank you for subbing, man. Hey, and Drumsticks 42.
Oh, Sully, yeah, that's right, Sully Story. I was going to say...
Sorry, Drumsticks, not quite as epic as Isaac Wilson, but you're still epic.
Sully was posting real-time updates.
Because he's the Traveler, right?
The Traveler.
He's still traveling?
No, he's back home now.
He's back home, okay. So
he ended up going all the way to Victoria.
Now, on a bicycle?
On a bicycle. Left Boston, came up into Canada, Eastern Ontario, drove through all of Ontario. I met him up, Jeff and I met and had some beers with him. And... super cool guy, mathematician. I like mathematicians. And that's the only reason I like him. He's a mathematician. No, he's cool. So he's in my Clash Royale clan. That's how we first met. So he ended up biking across all of Canada. Like through the fucking Rockies and shit. That's not an easy bike ride. And not in like the super pro, like, mega long distance bike travel gear. No, like he was dressed like a dude on a bike. It was hilarious, man. Bunch of bags. Anyways, and then to Victoria. And then he ended up going, I haven't biked enough. So he extended. He was going to fly home from there, and he biked all the way down to San Diego, like along the west coast.
What? Yeah. Well, that must be a great ride.
Oh yeah, that West Coast Trail.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, because honestly,
Oregon's
if you're there,
beautiful.
Yeah, you might as well. I've seen a lot of pictures of people that walk that trail. It's just shockingly beautiful. But anyways, so last night he posted chat. He's like, "Hey guys, I need advice." He had met up with the girl he used to know in high school, and they were out at the bar and they're drinking, and having a good time. And she's like, "Why don't you, come back to my place? It's cool." So he comes back to her place and whatever. And it's like, it's adults, right? It's at this point, it's pretty clear the intentions of a reasonable person, right? And to get back there, and then something, I don't know, they're talking, and then she gets an air mattress out. It's like, blows up an air mattress like in the living room.
Well, you put the brakes on whenever you want. Right?
Yeah. Oh no. She's like, oh, so here's an air mattress. My friend's coming over. Don't worry, we're not gonna have sex though. But my friend's coming over.
Oh, that's disappointing.
At 3 a.m.
Though. That's disappointing.
At 3 a.m. So
does she want a threesome or what?
That's what I said immediately. I'm like, dude, pull your dick out right now. Walk in that room. That was my awesome sage advice to slowly pull it out and walk in the room, because at that point the expectation is pretty reasonable. Why would you do that? Why are you at a bar? Come back to my place. Oh yeah, oh here's your air mattress. I just called my casual fuck. He's coming over to have sex with me. So he's sitting in there, and then I guess the guy got there, and they're like in the room, and he's like, so, like, do I put headphones on? Do I like listen? What am I supposed to be doing in this situation? So he just bailed. He just got up and then he went. And he had to stay in the train station for 3 hours because it's now 3 a.m. The shit's not running. Shit, he didn't have his bike. Man needs a bike.
She should have been open. Like, you come back to my place. You don't say for sex. Just want to make that that's
I was going to offer you sex, but now you're a super fucking creeper. Who asked that?
That's weird. But like, if she really wanted a threesome, she'd just be like, you know what? Hey, my buddy's coming over. Do you want to get freaky 3 ways?
Yeah.
It's like,
and he says yes or no.
And it's like, yeah, it's like, you could ask people for sex no matter what gender you are, no matter whatever. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's been. I'd be disappointed.
And just in case. And it's totally reasonable in case you're female, in case maybe you are socially a bit, what's a good synonym for retarded that's not as offensive? Anyway, that.
if you're repeated.
Yeah. So if you're socially retarded female and it's 3 a.m. and you're at the bar and you've been hanging out talking to the guy all night, don't invite him back to your place if you don't intend to have sex or something like you, or be clear saying, oh, come back to my place only because I'm enjoying the conversation so much, but I have no intention of sex with you, or something like that. That's reasonable, right? Is that weird to me?
That's a pretty fucking interesting conversation.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just be like, what are you? Yeah, talking
socially awkward. There we go. That's much more inept. There we go. You guys are funny. There we go. Now, autistic's even. It's offensive, man. That's offensive. Come on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, she could maybe he said something like what did you talk about, like in between the invite and the air mattress?
Maybe come back to my place, and then on the train ride, he's like, so I like to collect dolls and kids' shoes. Yeah. I keep them in my attic and I clean them every day. I got a knife collection in my backpack. You want to see it? You want to see it?
Do you? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what happened between there. Maybe. Don't spend too much time checking your conversation because it's probably just, she wanted a 3-way. And,
Anyway, did I get that right, Sully?
Is totally different from mufafa, right?
I don't know if I got that right, Sully, but that was the general gist of it. I was laughing out loud, but
That's funny how you went for real-time advice from your Clash Royale clan.
Yeah,
it's like, guys, I need some help.
it's a huge group of people.
Are you making a new deck? Like,
There's always people online, right? It's like it's an instant. Clash Royale was awesome for his trip too, and it's cool because as he's doing this bike ride, he's still playing and still getting crowns and still, because all you need. And he was watching the stream from his tent and playing. So he was like a super active member of the guild, contributing lots of crowns. Meanwhile, the guy's living on a bike, sleeping in parks, and he's still an active member of a 1v1 strategy game clan. Yeah. Like, that's awesome, man.
That's great.
Keeps you connected.
People say mobile gaming is for noobs. No way, man. It's for hardcore. Because you can travel the world on your bike and stay in your clan. And so Hexploitation has a knife collection. Well, don't be busting it out to a lady you just met, right? Just keep that for like 5th date sort of news, right? When there's some trust that's been built. And Davison has a good point. If you waited till 3 a.m. to not make a move, it wasn't going to happen. Well, yeah, you can ask. You can just ask, right? Yeah.
I don't think there was an opportunity to make a room. Make a move. How it sounded was they got back there. She's like, "Cool. So here's the air mattress." Like he needed a place to sleep. Like she thought he was homeless or something, and she was lending a hand. I don't think they got there and they're hanging out and he's just not making a move. But you don't really want to be making moves that aren't words coming out of your mouth anymore. Man, 2 weeks ago I wake up, my Google News feed, the whole front page is different famous men who are under sexual assault allegations.
Yeah.
The whole front page, it was this guy. I go to my Facebook, there's literally a mutual friend of ours that's like, some like man, like literally like all men are terrible. Like, like, and I'm just like, wow, that's a great time to be a man right now. It's pretty great. So I'm glad I'm not. I would be so afraid to even hit on a girl. To be like, hey, baby. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm fucking triggered. Oh, he said, hey, baby. I'm like, oh, my God. Not that I would never start with hey, baby. By the way, don't fucking do that. It's terrible.
You start with pulling your dick out, obviously.
You just pull it out. Just pull the fucking dick out and
like,
start.
Oops, did that slip out? Hey, so what do you think of my dick?
And start beating.
No, obviously, it's all the, yeah. We should talk about this. Like, obviously, any reasonable man is like, what the fuck are you doing? This is what, like, in a place of work, people are there to work. And like, oh man, just the stories are horrible, and yeah, it's something. And I'm glad it's like, I'm glad people are talking about it. I'm glad people feel comfortable coming forward. And Weinstein, did you hear the tape?
Dude, I've read a lot of different allegations. Like, dude, even hearing the tape, like, no, I know exactly. Like, I know exactly the kind of guy. In fact, I knew a guy a bit like that, or reminded me a lot of him.
Yeah.
But I think if people think Harvey Weinstein is some anomaly in the entertainment business, they have no fucking idea.
No,
there's too much power given to the people that decide who gets in a movie or not, right? The producers have so much power because there's so many poor, desperate actresses. And guess what? Actresses are gorgeous, and they're usually fit, and they're like, they wouldn't even be going in the business if they didn't think they're hot enough to get on the big screen, right? So he's got all these desperate, hot actresses throwing themselves at him, and he just maximum takes advantage of the situation with, just the worst.
See, the thing nobody's talking about with this whole situation, which I think people should talk about, is how many times Harvey Weinstein did his bullshit, and it worked.
Oh, yeah.
Like...
Oh, man.
What, like, I honestly don't know what the percentage is. Is it 90% of the time? Is it 5% of the time? If it's 5%, why the fuck are you doing it? Why do you keep doing it? But so it must be more than 5, I'm guessing. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Like, how many times did he do it? And someone was like, you know what? I'll give Harvey Weinstein a hand job if it has a 1% chance of helping my career.
Well, look at Uma Thurman, man. And look at her career. Like, she was in every one of his...
Don't imply, like, that she was doing that. Like,
no, she's already came out and said, I'm so angry I can't talk about it yet.
Yeah. But
I'm pretty sure, and, like, I mean, I don't want to imply, it's not a court of law, I know I'm a terrible person. Pretty sure, though, all the girls that came forward that says that they have a story to tell, but they're just too angry right now, they're the ones that went through with it. They're the ones that got sort of swindled and pressured, and next thing you know, this guy's having sex with them, and they're like, how is this even happening? He just pressured me so hard, and I want the job so bad, and now they've lived with that regret and that anger for years and years. I'm pretty sure the women that, or at least, a percentage of them that are more silent are because they don't want to come forward and say, he got me. Because most women come forward and said, he tried to get me, he grabbed my boob, I was like, trying to get, and I got out of there. How many women came forward and said, I sucked his dick in the hotel room for a job? And then he put me in 6 movies, and I made $80 million. No one's saying that. No one's gonna say that, right?
Yeah, all these, like, it's still just the surface of the conversation. Like, all the people who are being called out and are suffering consequences is amazing. But I think there's a whole other conversation that has to happen about, like, what is the scope of what Harvey did, and I like that in the fallout of this, I hope happens is that people realize a place of work is where people work. And, you shouldn't be bringing these, you shouldn't. Anyway, just, man, that tape just haunts me because he's so good at it. Harvey Weinstein, there's a tape of him trying to get a woman into his room.
Yes. I've listened to it with Stacy.
Yeah, and it's he's so good at what he's doing to convince someone to do something they probably don't really want to do. If they did it, they still don't want. Like, it's a weird kind of thing. It's like if it's just such a weird pressure that it's like one of those things where, like, I've been pressured into situations and not involving sex, but in sales, where I'm like, oh, do I want to buy this thing? And it's like high pressure sale, I buy it. And then you walk out of the store, you're like, what the fuck did I just do? Right? And it's like, but I chose to buy it, Not that's analogous. I know this is like a very sensitive topic, and like, not that I'm implying any woman who was sexually assaulted consented at all, right? But like, yeah. Anyway, man, like it just the manipulation that goes on because of the position of power, and I'm glad that that's being called out, because a salesperson isn't necessarily in a car dealership having a position of power.
No, he's just a sleazy bastard.
Right, but they don't decide your career or whatever, right? But like,
yes.
Like someone that decides your career and be like, look, it's not going to be on your merits. It's going to be on if you have sex with me. It's like, that is such a fucking sleazebag thing to do. It's so immoral, and it happens all the time.
Oh yeah.
So how does that come to an end? Well, I hope this is the first step, but I hope that we talk about, like, obviously Harvey Weinstein's not going to come forward with his full story. Be like, well, you know what? I went out and I kept statistics, and this is my success rate, and a lot of women, said, okay, you can look at me naked while you masturbate, or maybe they didn't. Maybe that's complete fiction. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's an incomplete picture, and I'd like to know the complete picture, because it would give us a better idea of what the solutions are.
I like the fact there's an audio tape of that one.
Yeah.
That's why I will condemn Harvey Weinstein, because I saw the tape. But for the most part, I actually don't jump on every single guy's name that was next to a Me Too hashtag. That guy's a piece of shit, now I hate him. Because they're just words right now. They're allegations. Like, just because a woman says a man did something does not mean the man did something. There's a lot of fucking crazy in the world. There's a lot of fucking crazy in the world, especially with famous men who probably have a lot of consensual sex with women who believe they're then going to be a girlfriend or some significant position in their life, who are then just kind of discarded, and they're very angry about that. And then the whole Me Too thing, it's a great opportunity for revenge, isn't it? To just put a name, Me Too, on Twitter, boom, and watch his whole career fucking tank. There was like some girl tweeted some shit, and a guy got pulled off a talk show that night because one girl tweeted, oh, he did this, whatever. There's no evidence. It's literally just an allegation, and career over. Boom. That's fucking terrifying, man. And if, I mean, honestly, if you don't realize it's here, imagine you wake up tomorrow and there's an article like, Jeff LePere raped me, and your career's over, and you never did it. Like, that's a pretty terrifying thing. Like, I wish there was some due process here, right? I wish
well, there is.
And most of these guys are never going to face charges. They'll be acquitted, and some of them are 100% innocent. It doesn't matter, man. In the court of public opinion, their career is fucking over because of words that came out of another human being's mouth that may or may not be true, and no one knows if they're true or not. The Lucy Kay thing, I heard there's a bunch of women now, so now it's tilting. But the first girl came out and said, he pulled his dick out in front of me. And I'm like, okay. A, maybe he didn't. And B, if he did, maybe he was drunk, thought it was funny. I've actually seen people pull their dick out before. Stacey's had her guys pull their dick out on her in her life before. And we laugh at it. And I know some people are hypersensitive to stuff like that, and some people just roll with it. But it's not like it's the most inconceivable thing to have a guy pull his dick out when he's drunk. It's not. I mean, shit, how many of our male friends drunk at a party would just whip their fucking pants off? I'm not charging, Nameless with sexual assault because he whipped his dick out and shook it at my face, maybe even slapped me when I'm sleeping with it. I don't know, man.
It is different, though. It is different.
It is different. Yeah, I mean, if he's beating it and staring in your face, that's pretty fucking weird. But all I'm saying is, there's no tapes of this shit. Right? Yeah. There's no evidence. It's just someone making an accusation. But of course, when 5 women come out, 12, and it's still not a court of law. But all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, it's probably not a conspiracy. It's probably not a conspiracy, but it's scary, man. It's a scary time to be a man, especially if you work in entertainment in any way, or like.
Well, it's scary. It's a scary time to be a man who pulls his dick out, right? It's like.
Yeah, maybe I'm being like the afraid of terrorists because it can't possibly happen. But like I just imagine the
percentage of false positives is so tiny.
Is it though? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's data on that or whatever. But yeah, having this come out on top of already this whole like patriarchy, fucking this and that's been just. I mean, this avalanche, right? Last couple of years.
Let me tell you a story that happened to me.
I'm just gonna cut my dick off.
So I was it was actually the night where I had beers with Wyman when he was in town. Mm-hmm. So I had beers with Wyman.
Sorry, I couldn't make the Wyman.
And hung out with some cool PP fans who are in Toronto, including Circo, who lives in Toronto. You know, Circo lives in Toronto and works in Toronto.
No.
Yeah, he kind of maybe I shouldn't say this because he didn't really publish it, but he's a Torontonian. You know, he lives in the Little Italy. He's working and he's loving it.
Oh well, I guess I'm gonna stalk him now. I'm gonna ask for his phone number and
you should, man.
Gonna hang out where he's hanging out and stuff. He didn't want me to know. So.
Well, it was that he had like a limited visa or whatever, and then it was like if he didn't want to say I'm moving to Toronto and then be like, oh, I didn't get a job, I got to go back. You know, it's like so he had to get a job first, and then he got a job, and then now he's staying in Toronto and he's happy and he loves it here, which is great because Toronto's a great city. So I was having beers with them. I was walking home. I put in my headphones, walk home. I get near my place on Church Street, which if you know Toronto, you know Church Street. And there's someone walking behind me. And it was one of those things where it's like, oh, I see the shadow, and they're walking a bit close. So I take my headphones out, put them on my shoulder, start walking with my ears, you know. And then this guy comes up beside me. He's like, hey, good night, huh? I was like, yeah. I'm like waiting for him to like grab for my wallet or whatever. Instead, he grabs for the small of my back, starts massaging it, walking behind me. And he's like, hey, so crazy night. And I was like, well, you know, I'm going to go home.
My wife.
Head's hitting the pillow.
Yeah, me too.
You know, my head's in the pillow. He's like, well, I hope not. And he slides the back of his hand down to my ass, starts grabbing my ass. And I said, oh man, you know, I'm not into that. And he's like, oh, what? He's like, the physical contact. I'm not into that. You know? And he goes, stops grabbing my ass immediately. And I'm just casually chatting with this guy walking, and he's like, oh, sorry about that. And I was like, oh, no problem. You know, if you were a sexy lady, it'd be a different story. And he says, oh, I got a lot of holes. I can be a lot of things. And I'm like, well, I'm thinking in my head, that beard, that massive thick beard you have is not really turning me on.
He had a big beard.
You know?
I can be a lot of things. You could be cast as a bike or...
So, yeah, so I'm like, yeah, man, it's I'd like, hey, it's flattering, you know, good to know I still got it, you know, I'm getting old, you know, still got it. And he's like, yeah, well, you know, I hope you, can't remember what he said. So I said, anyway, we parted ways. I said, have a good night. And he goes, never say no, but he meant to say never say never. But he's like, never say no. I'm like, well, I said no, but yeah, anyway, I got, you know, guys aggressively, you know, he was drunk.
Well, a guy grabbed my package before.
Well, that's like, worse.
He full on grabbed my package, and even did that quickly, like the quick jingle,
oh,
and then walked away and smiling at me and hoping that I would, you know,
go.
and I was just, I mean, I think it probably took me 20 seconds to process what had happened. That just happened.
Yeah.
You know, that a guy just walked up and grabbed my package, and I still laugh about it. Like I think it's fucking hilarious. But I'm a guy. It's very different when you're a guy, right?
Now, so yeah, it's different when you're a guy. This is my point, okay? So it didn't bother me. I was fine. He touched my ass a bit. I am personally okay with that. I wasn't like, I didn't feel dirty. I didn't feel like I was assaulted. But the man was shorter than me, right? He, you know, I can defend myself to some degree. I've never been in a fight in my life, but like, you know, I have some upper body strength, right? Like, you know, it's a world of difference. Like, you have to imagine that whole story. Now imagine that whole story happening with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? Like, coming up behind you,
yes,
and being like, "Oh, hey, I wanted like nice ass here that I'm grabbing," and you being like afraid to say no because of what he might do.
That's when you're like 911.
Yeah, exactly.
And you hover over the send, and then he goes, "Oh,"
and
okay,
maybe
pressure another guy.
Maybe he's also your boss, and you need to make rent at the end of the month, and like, you know, they have power over you because you could be homeless, right? And factor in those things, and then you understand what it's like. Okay, so it's like,
they have power. I mean, it has happened in reverse, obviously, to nowhere near the amount. I mean, again, there's no data, but it's not like it's only men abusing powerful positions, right? humans in general have a tendency to abuse a powerful position.
Yep.
It just happens to be that
To
there's
be that
way
they're-
more men in powerful positions, especially in those businesses. And
Way more men pull their dicks out than
and-
women pulling out their vaginas, right? Like,
well, they don't have dicks, so definitely not pulling one out. You can't really pull out a vagina, and I think that might be part of the problem. And that could be, maybe if the
Depends on
vagina
the
was more unfoldable, then at least they could compete. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, flap, flap. And you'd be like, I didn't want to see that. And like, exactly. You know what I mean? Give them a clap. Tell them to fuck off.
but yeah, it's brutal that there were so many men who we knew. Like, it was crazy. The people you know and see in media. And it's like, how did they get away with it for so long?
Well, it all started in Canada with Gian Gomeshi, man.
Gian
Remember all his
Gomeshi.
douchey-ass
Oh,
stories?
yes.
Holy fuck.
He was the face of the CBC, and it
Yeah.
was like a big poster of him when you
Yeah.
walk in the building, and that was part of the whole, power dynamic too.
Yeah.
You go to work, and the first thing you see is the guy who sexually assaulted you's massive poster, like a 20-foot tall image of his face as you walk into work. Are you going to complain to HR? This fucking guy's staring you down everywhere you walk. He's looking because he's 20 feet tall and it's his whole face. Yeah, man, it's Gian Gomeshi thing was terrible, and I'm glad that has stopped.
Oh.
What is this?
Oh, was that can actually?
Let me Google that for you.
Yeah. You could have actually just Googled it for me instead of being a
No,
dick about it.
no. We have to endure this little animation to know.
2 times because I clicked it off the first time because I'm like, this shit. Like he took the time to type
night,
all
Hex.
that instead of just, oh, Hex, of course he's got to go to bed. Good night, Hex, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, man.
Every 98 seconds, an American woman is sexually assaulted. Well, that's pretty shitty. Only 6 reported police. Date rape, blah blah. Okay. All
All right, ladies, start whipping out those big vaginas.
Dare's got the right strategy, man. Got the right strategy.
But yeah, like there's Anyway,
Yeah, it's some good emotes there, man. Who is that guy?
K-Raid.
Not the guy that. I mean, who's the face of the guy in the picture? You just made there?
the like supposed.
Never
perv?
say no. That is the best today. Never say no.
He said never say. He was drunk. He meant to say never say never.
Can you believe like you're walking up to people in the street and you're touching them, like physically grabbing their ass, like
dude? He has a 99% success rate probably. He just
maybe
happened
1%,
to
but he
grab-
tries 100 people every night.
He just happened to grab a straight guy's ass. But man, 2 men in the equation. You know what happens?
Oh, I know what happens.
Yeah.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
I know what happens. I'm a big piece of shit. I've been a big piece of shit man my whole life. Fucking white too. Fuck. It's tough, man. Yeah. Honestly, neuromancy. I don't really want to go into the men-women thing because people I find are extraordinarily unreasonable about this topic. Like you can't actually discuss it with most people. You can't defend
This is
the other side.
I
Right?
wanted to talk about this. I want to talk about this so bad, but it's so controversial. I want to
Yeah,
talk
you
about
can't be reasonable. You just have to toe the line of like men suck, pound men suck, and that's it.
I
That's
want
fine.
to
I'm used
talk
to it.
about this
It's good.
amazing, such an amazing phenomenon that I don't think people are realizing that's going on. It has to do with Jordan Peterson as well. But it's a lot to talk about, though. It's a lot, and it's I don't know, man. Should we save it for another stream or?
Maybe. Well, how long is it to talk about?
Well, it starts with this. I want to show you this comic. I'll let you react to this comic without the stream seeing this comic here.
Ooh. And that is a position held by many, 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 many people.
This was a viral comic. It went
Yep.
viral on Facebook, and everyone's
Yes.
like, "Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes." But it represents a fundamental problem.
Yes.
This is Trump fuel.
Yes.
I think the left is making a big mistake, or the so-called left.
Dude, this comic was probably written and drawn by a Russian.
Yeah.
When I see the ultra-left stuff, but yet outside my window's crickets. Whenever I hear they're like, you need to call me it, they. I don't know I've never met a person that's it, they. And it's like all those extremist triggers, like the Tumblr. All the Tumblrians in the world. Never met one. I'm sure there's some real ones out there. But then when you start to realize like the 64,000 or whatever Twitter accounts that influenced Brexit and that swing, but Russia went in. Russia's like took England out of the EU.
Yeah.
Then they went and put Trump in power in the US. Like their cyber army. It's 2017.
Incredible.
Their cyber army is incredible. Russia's taking up. They're fucking up the world right now. World War III is being fought online by Twitter trolls, and they're winning.
And
like they look who they literally put in that guy as president of the most powerful military country in the world.
And the people and the people who are affected by it will deny. It's their own free will. They made this choice, and it's like, dude, if there's
it was good for Britain to leave EU. It's like, well, every single economist
it's like
in the world
no
disagrees.
No, the Russia shaped your mind and made you make a bad decision for your country. It's like, are you? No, I made my own decision. Obviously, I read the news. I talked to my friends. I had great conversations, and I made my own decision. Which it's like, well, there's shades of your own decision. You realize, but anyway,
what's gender fluid? What? Sorry, I have two friends who are legitimately gender fluid. But it's not like they get super triggered if people misgender them. Well, you can't really. They're fluid. Ask them what they're feeling like today. You know what gender fluid is called? That's called mood. Yeah, we used to use the word mood for that. Personality type, all those words we used to use. Now gender is just this big category that sort of engulfed all of that. And now people decide that there is no gender. There's no such thing.
Well, words are public coins. Like I'm my personal opinion is that
there's my triggering statement, by the way.
Is like
it's all made up, man.
Is let it evolve. It's like let's let these ideas evolve. But I agree with Jordan Peterson in that it shouldn't be legislated, right? As it is in Canada. In Canada, it is currently law that you cannot be. If you can identify as any gender you want at any time. You can change your gender as many times as you like during the day. And if somebody doesn't recognize and treat you as your identified gender, they are violating your human rights. This is currently law in Canada. So, for instance, if you go to the doctor, right? There's somebody I know who is age 65, and they have a condition whereby they need an injection of bone marrow strengthening drugs that women get for free in Canada over 65, but men have to pay for it. It's $900 a year for these 2 injections. And I was encouraging this gentleman to walk into the doctor's office and say, I am a woman today. If you charge me $900, you are violating my human rights. This is law in Canada.
Nice.
And I wanted this is obviously not the intention of the law, but I would just do it. You save the $900. You can do it. You don't have to pay it.
Sorry, I missed the first part because I was just laughing at this comic. But there's so much wrong. But where was it? How do I save $900 by feeling like a girl one day?
And if you can literally, according to the law,
whatever
Canada,
that is,
you can apply to a scholarship that's for women only, and you just say, yeah, I'm a woman, and you don't even have to wear a dress to the interview. You can just you can have a beard and be like, yeah, I'm a woman today. If they treat you differently than a woman, they are violating your fundamental human rights. That's the law. But of course, it's not the intent of the law, but that's I don't think anybody's been thinking about it the way that I've been thinking about it. There's not a problem. So I'm very pragmatic when it comes to this kind of stuff. And, the principle of the law is different from the practice of the law. Sure, let's see what happens. So far, society hasn't crumbled, but it was the law that Jordan Peterson was against in principle. And I don't think that society's falling apart or anything, but I think it's an interesting thing. It's very interesting that you can do that. And that, it's I think it's also great that it's recognizing transgendered rights. It's a step in the right direction, and it's making a subset of our population that is otherwise marginalized feel welcomed and recognized by the law. So that's great. But it's very fascinating that all of these scenarios that you can say I'm a woman today, and then everyone must treat you as a woman, otherwise they're violating your fundamental human rights. It's
honestly, I like that. It's right up there with otherkin in terms of just total absurdity to me. Mm-hmm. Like people are like, and I'm actually a donkey. I'm in human body. Otherkin. I've brought this up before, right?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, it's always young people, or for the most part. I mean, there's always exceptions. People go, no, exception. No. I mean, it's young people. And I remember when we were young, you get crazy ideas, and you're so desperate to be unique. So this is what I actually want to say. And I think, especially in your teenage years and your early 20s, maybe it's a part of the culture in North America and probably Western culture in general, that the very every man for himself, capitalist, like the me first culture that we were all raised in versus, say, the more Confucianist culture of the East, which is we are together in this, right?
Yeah.
But from the moment you're born in Canada and the USA and I think most of Western Europe, I'm guessing it's individuality and me. So people are just constantly on this desperate search to prove their uniqueness in the world, even though there's 7 fucking billion of us, and you're not. You in fact probably fall into one of like 12 very distinct personality types. And you're really not special. I'm not special. Jeff's not special. You're not special. You're not fucking special. Stop it. You're not special. And adding 15 tags after your name, identifying all your genders and kin types, it doesn't make you special. Self-diagnosing mental illness. By the way, if you haven't been to a psychiatrist, don't tell anyone you have a mental illness. Google does not diagnose you, motherfuckers. Okay? Don't go out there and be like, I'm socially anxious, but I got some OCD, but then I've got bipolar. Oh, you mean sometimes you're mad and sometimes you're happy? Yeah, everybody is, dumbass. Okay? Bipolar is there are very specific and stringent rules to diagnosing this kind of shit. Go to a doctor, and if that's the diagnosis, then if you want to share that. But what's really funny is that people that actually have psychiatrists, people that actually have mental illnesses, generally don't brag about it on social media. It's kind of something you don't talk about, right? I mean, some people do, sure, share it. A Bill Let's Talk, right? It's like, should talk about it more. So other people with mental illnesses are aware of just how many other people have mental illnesses. But still, I think we're in a situation where, like, say, for instance, like, I wouldn't want to talk about something because maybe in the future someone's like, ooh, I don't want to work with that guy. He's crazy, right? Oh, no. Well, if he panics, then what happens in his stress was not understanding fundamentally the disorder at all, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, the point is, when I see kids on the internet talking about gender fluid this or fucking otherkin that, it's really just a desperate attempt to be different and to share the world their uniqueness. And come on, man. And I hope someone's here. Like, in fact, I really hope it's a gender fluid person here or identifies one, just to fill me in on what it means to feel a woman and what it means to feel a man, what to be like one. Because I'm a man, but I don't know what it means to feel like a man. I actually don't know what that means. I like competitive gaming and I like sports and I have these interests that are typically male. I have a penis, but that has nothing to do with gender anymore, right? So the sex has nothing to do with it. But so it's interest and attitude then, right? Mm-hmm. Because
which is fine. It's just to me it's semantics. It's okay. Call gender that, right? I'm a penis having person.
Yeah, but when semantics are affecting the law, that's a big problem for me, right? When people are going to think I'm a bad person because I'm just.
But that's not law that you're a bad person because you have a penis in between your legs.
No. The law is you can save $900 like by claiming a woman. So I mean, you started by saying that it is now law in Canada that you cannot misgender. It's a human rights violation.
But that's making you not have to pay the $900, right? Is what it's like.
No, but I mean the concept of gender fluidity has affected law, right?
Yeah.
When I think the concept is absurd to begin with, right? I think it's like we all feel different on different days, man. God, some days I think I could probably fly, right? And some days I think that I should probably die. I guess it's more bipolar. Some days I think that I never want to look at a woman ever again. And some days I think I want to have sex with 30 at the same time right now. Right? Is that getting close? I don't know, but that's sexual. See, it's very complicated. You got to be careful too. You step around it very carefully. But I guess my simple question too is what does it mean to be a woman? And what does it mean to be a man? Tell me, a man. In fact, if somebody, what does it mean? What does it mean that I identify as a man? Because I've always assumed I do, and I tell my people call me he, and I have facial hair and a penis, and so I've rolled with it. But maybe I'm a girl, like, because I don't know what that means either. So fuck, I don't know, man. But it's all hilarious and confusing. Or maybe it's just a sign of how old I am. I just don't get it, man. You just don't get it. Being a woman means no, but I can't answer the question. Someone's got to do it for me, man. Do it.
Oh, sorry.
I'm non-binary. I'm not black and white. And nobody is, man. Nobody is. Life's not that simple. Everyone around you isn't a simple pawn, and you're this complex, unique fucking snowflake. No, man. It's everyone. Everyone has such a wide variety of feelings. They're constantly, the chemistry in your body is constantly changing throughout your whole life, right? Your interests and your inclinations, it's all constantly in flux. All constantly in flux, affected by your environment, your food, right? Your interpersonal relationships. That's life, man. That's just called being fucking alive, dude. God damn it. Anyway, I don't actually really care. It doesn't really bother me because, again, I've never met a person that says that. And if I did, I would absolutely love to have a talk. I would, most of my friends can, well, I don't hang out with anyone that I wouldn't be comfortable talking about shit with, right? I don't have friends that are offended by conversation.
I should log into Twitch here. If I log into Raw for Mayo, is it going to fuck up the stream?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. I can message you the...
Sub notifications do not seem to be working since Hex.
Oh.
By the way, if you message me...
Via what?
Just an email, man.
All right.
Oh, this is terrible. No, I don't know. Oh, fuck yeah, hold on a sec.
Sorry, we're trying to get you the comic that sparked this whole conversation.
And then, I just don't want to have the whole stream be too negative, political negative. I was like, I came in the stream, I'm like, let's talk positive. I went to Europe for over a month, right? I fucking met all the best tennis players in Canada. My son rode on the shoulders of Marty Lorendo, the most prestigious tennis coach in Canada, who just stepped down as captain of the Davis Cup because he's now full-time traveling with Denis Shapovalov, is singing and dancing with my son on his shoulders, like crazy life experiences, but we're talking about gender fluidity, man. And penises and vaginas. And we always talk about... And we're not even drunk. Penises and vaginas.
I'm drinking Rickard's White. It is a beer.
I'm a man, and I don't know what that means. That should be my new Twitter profile or something, because I don't know what it means. Do you know what it means, man?
What means? Well, what
to be a man, or to be a woman?
I think it's I think it's fluid. I think it changes as culture changes, and it varies between different cultures in the world at this very moment. So
there is no meaning. Here we go. No, don't. Wow, this computer is so bad. Look how long it takes to open an email link. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I'm feeling very women in Canada today, but it's very man in Tahiti. You know what I mean? So I'm feeling like...
Yeah. That's
Here we go. Let me put this in here.
Yeah, I think... so this comic we're going to link, I showed Jarrett. It's really interesting. I think it's... How
is the CPU?
So, you guys can check out the comic, read it, and I think it represents a lot that's going on. First of all, it's like, the intention of this comic is yeah, we know, like, you don't have to say it, but just, be with us and, like, recognizing that let's solve this, right? And don't be don't be defensive, I think is what it says, right? Or what the artist's intention might have been. That would be my guess, my personal guess of the artist's intention. But a man starts a sentence with "not all" and gets choked and silenced is an interesting choice.
Did he just associate socialism with the slaughter of the Jewish people?
Yeah, let's just ignore.
Did that guy, those words come out of his mouth and he didn't? Okay, sorry. Wow.
He's a Russian.
Holy fuck!
It's
yes,
a Russian
seriously. Wow,
IP
that's
address.
next level stupid.
All right, so not all shh. We know it's not all men. So it's implicit that he was going to say, and it's not all men, right?
Yeah.
But if he had the chance to like react to say, no, I was going to say, not all brands of orange juice are delicious. It's like, but it's too many. It's enough, and you being more offended by the implication that some can be bad, right? It's like, so not all men are bad is being more offended by the implication that some men are bad. That doesn't even logically follow, right? Mm-hmm. I think that the fact that this comic exists might make people feel inclined to say, well, not all, and it's very interesting. I think there is a Trump fuel coming from people who don't want Trump in power. And they do it by this. And this is what Noah's talking about. I want to know your thoughts on this, Jared.
I think this is Russian.
So,
I love that. And you being more offended. Like, at what point was the level of offendedness quantified? Or when did it, like, it's, like, I love, like, the straw man there. Like, she's assuming, like, it really, he could be reasonably saying, listen. Yeah.
But it's implicit that this is an attitude by men who might start a sentence with "not all," and then presumably men are bad, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's the silencing aspect too. It's like, I think a big mistake, and this is happening with Jordan Peterson, because there's been a few articles, including by Tabitha Southey, who I'm a big fan of, and she wrote an article on Jordan Peterson. I was like, I can't wait to dig into this, because I'm a fan of Jordan Peterson. Don't agree with everything he believes in, but I'm a fan of him because he articulates his ideas and backs them up with logic. Tabitha is an amazing journalist, and I was like, I tucked into this article, and I was like, wow, I'm so disappointed in what Tabitha wrote, because it was just like ad hominem hit piece. It was just like if they were actually to discuss their ideas, like it was just a bunch of name calling, and it was like, someone that didn't really delve too deep. And anyway, it's absolutely fascinating what's going on here. And so here's the mistake of the left. Here's, I think, what the so-called left, I'll call them, because I don't think it's a one-dimensional scale personally, but those who self-identify as left, which I do as well, if I had to pick one, right? There's a huge difference between saying, Jarrett, you're wrong, and here's why, right? And, Jarrett, you're wrong, and you can't say what you're thinking.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge difference between shaming your thoughts and explaining why you're wrong, right? And this is Trump fuel. And the left does this all the time. So Tabitha's article about Jordan Peterson was shaming his ideas, not explaining at all why they're wrong. He believes this, and he obviously shame. You can't say that. You can't say this. And that's just getting people to press the Trump button. It's like all these people think that they can't say what they're thinking, and it's like when I traveled to New York recently, and I was at the this is an anecdote, whatever, one person, but it was like, wow, I can't believe this happened. The story is still significant. The border guard said, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I write comedy." And he goes, "Comedy, is that still a thing? Can't make a joke anymore without everyone getting offended. Have a nice trip." It's like, this is like, I have a lot of right-wing friends on Facebook. Some of them are, I would call nut jobs, but I'm glad to be their friends because I like seeing their posts. I like seeing what the news they share because I want to know how people think who don't agree with me. And I'm telling you that this is huge Trump fuel when people say you're wrong and you can't say what you're thinking. And it's shameful, your thoughts, by the way. There was an ad. So there was an ad on the Toronto Transit. And I agree in the principle of why this ad exists. I agree with the intention of the ad. It was from some... I've been looking for it. If anybody can link this to me, I would love to see the ad. I'm really kicking myself that I didn't take a photo of the ad on the TTC. It was a picture of a text message exchange between two male friends, and it said it was like think before you text, right? And there was an incoming text message to the phone from a male friend that said, I just saw Sharon with another woman. I think she's a lesbian. Whoa, like, yeah. And there was all these text messages like, whoa, I always knew she was a lesbo weirdo, Message not sent, right? Implying that that's not what you should do. It was like, 2 chicks, that's hot. Message not sent. It was like, oh, lesbos, whatever, lesbo, like not respecting, like, lesbians, right? Not sent. And then it was like, I don't know. If she's ready, she'll tell us. Message sent. Right? And it was like saying, like, this is how you treat people who, like, this is the proper thing to say was the instruction of the ad. And it's like, well, I agree with the proper thing to say. It's like, yeah, I don't know if she's a lesbian, but if she wants to tell us, she'll tell us if she's ready or whatever, or she's not, or whatever. They're, but I think all the things that you can't think and say were like, and the only one that stuck out to me was 2 chicks, that's so hot. Right? And it's like, message not sent. Well, okay, in that context, don't send the message. But there are a lot of people on the planet seeing that ad, interpreting it as, and they're interpreting it falsely, not the intention of the author, that if you think 2 chicks are hot, you're a bad person, right? And I see a lot of that. I think a lot of this sort of like, if you just look at it from the people whose viewpoints I don't agree with on Facebook, who I'm friends with, and I like seeing what they share and what they talk about, I think there's a big mistake of the left saying, you're wrong and your thoughts are shameful. And I think that's a big reason why Trump was elected. And I don't think anybody has caught on to this. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm like, no one's caught on to this because there's nothing to catch on, right?
I think a lot of people are caught on me. Like, I mean, I've had this conversation with quite a few people who are frustrated by the silencing, right?
But people say it's like free speech and PC. No. It's shaming your thoughts.
Well, you can't even use the term free speech anymore. You're a Nazi. Remember what happened with Gary's bar?
Yeah.
Shocking, actually.
Yeah.
Because the guy called it a free speech comedy night. So they broke the locks to his bar and
some activists broke the locks to a bar that was hosting a free speech comedy night because it was called the Free Speech Comedy Night, and they assumed there would be Nazism there when the person organizing it is a Jew. Probably not a Nazi. Anyway, it was pretty funny. There's a hilarious clip of him.
Oh, his interview was gold.
His interview was like, well, I'm still a Jew, still not a Nazi, and still just I thought I'd change the venue, but now the campus wants to charge us for a bunch of security because there's gonna be protesters and all that. It's pretty funny. Anyway. Look that up.
Yeah, free speech equals hate speech now, and that's commonly accepted. And isn't that hilariously Orwellian? Right?
Well,
to speak freely is to speak with hate. It's too bad. Well, and that's a part of the alt-right, I guess, of co-opting free speech as a defense for being hateful, right? Because often when people will say something really hateful and stupid, they'll follow it with free speech, right? But anyway, it didn't come out of nowhere that suddenly free speech became a bad word to the ultra-left. But damn it, there was something up there I wanted to mention. It was so funny.
Scroll up. I gotta go pee.
Oh, sure. All right. Yeah, the speech thing is an interesting topic, I think. I mean, it's so easy to fall back and say, oh, free speech, all speech is good, I believe in pure freedom. But the fact is, people can be influenced by speech and words, right? Because we are not these perfectly objective beings that rationally decide based on the evidence given. That's pretty evident by the way elections have been turning out everywhere in the past ever. And the fact is, if a man has a platform or a woman has a platform, or if a thing has a platform, regardless, it could be an it could be a robot, right? And it can say words, and someone might die because of that, or suffer because of those words, then that's why those laws exist, right? So, you know, I just meet a lot of people saying, I believe in free speech, say whatever you want. It's like, you're just kind of in denial of the fact that, yes, speech does influence, man. Like, it really does. There are crazies that will kill people, right? In fact, like, there's a lot of people that right now are so influential that if they came forward and said, kill the person next to you right now, like, there would be people dying. There'd be people dying. And so the idea is to hold those people accountable for that kind of speech. That's obviously super extreme, but that's it. So, I mean, I do believe there needs to be some policing to using words to cause suffering. But of course, I think that policing is you know, the level of that policing is the real you know, issue, not whether or not it should be policed at all. Yeah, the Nazis. Oh yeah, so mentioned, like, Nazis weren't socialists, by the way. Just because you call yourself something doesn't mean you're that thing. They're it's like, that's just, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. To think that socialism, to equate socialism with Nazism in your head, and be like, those terms are synonymous. You should probably take a trip to Norway and hang out for a bit, especially if you're North American. So when you come home, you can really realize that you're living in like a second world country, and your quality of life, your longevity, it could all be massively improved at no expense to you and those around you, unless you're a billionaire. It's amazing, right? The power of speech, in fact, it's so amazing that people are consistently voting against their own interests, right? You have poor people voting for ultra-rich billionaires to give tax cuts to billionaires based on a simple lie that's provably false and has been for years. It's never worked. There's never been a trickle down. But it's still pitched. They do the mechanics. The guy still puts his hands in the podium. He does the right things and he looks the right way. And then a bunch of poor uneducated people around the world go, yeah. Rich people need more money. Then I'll have some, right? Even when you say it that way, it sounds pretty dumb, doesn't it? But it's amazing. But anyways, socialism is alive and well in many countries. Like Canada is actually quite socialist, and I love it here, man. It's pretty cool. No murders of Jews and no book burning. Not quite as left as Norway, but you should come up to Canada, man, if you're afraid of socialism, and look around a bit. It's yeah, you've been lied to, buddy. it's not the big bad. Thank you, Reed Effect, man, for the sub, dude. Did that one show up? No, fuck, I'll wait till Jeff's back. But, oh man, I want to go to Norway so bad. But it's expensive to visit Norway because the costs are high. But if you live there, it's not, because you get paid so goddamn much. You can afford the shit. Norwegians are in a great position to travel the world because everything's fucking cheap to them wherever they go. But it's a difficult country to visit, right? Or at least so I'm told, by a Norwegian who I met in London and would not allow me to buy a drink or anything because he said this is practically free for me. Was that in Canada, that guy? Anyways, he wasn't being a super douche. He was just saying, man, like, I can't believe how cheap everything is everywhere I go. You know what I mean? It's like when I went to Poland and having 3-course meals and 8 pints of beer and the bill's like $15. And like, how is that fucking humanly possible? Anyway. Your seat's a lot colder than mine. Your ass is colder, for sure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I moved earlier. It was like freezing. You got circulation ass problems? I think that's mine. It's finished. Wait, okay. Do you mind if I leave it there?
Did you want another one?
No, that's okay. Oh, did you bring that for me?
I brought it for me or you.
Oh, okay.
Because that's mine.
Oh.
But this is for me or you.
Otherwise, you'll have then 2 here, 1 getting warm?
Yeah.
I should drink it.
You should drink it.
I should drink it. All right. I'll pinch my gut in the morning and curse you.
Yep. I just didn't want to be responsible for more gut,
Yeah.
so.
Never say no.
Never say no.
I stole that from the chat. I'm not that clever. Hunter P92 is whatever.
I haven't seen the full movie The Room. Hunter P92.
Who can sit through that? I tried. I mean, I get the comedy of how bad it is, but dude.
I'm going to watch the movie About the Room, whatever, The Disaster Artist. I'm going to watch that for sure.
Thanks, Yamafons. So, yeah, speaking of this Nazi stuff in Germany, I went to Germany this summer. Mm-hmm. My mom retired and got this insane, settlement retirement package. And she's like, all right, guys. She's been to England before, but she's been actually several places in Europe before, but she had never been to Germany.
And Stacy's never been to Germany until
yes.
then. And
Taryn.
But Stacy has what's her passport?
Stacy's a German citizen.
She has a German passport, which is amazing.
Yeah, she has. So she is a German citizen, and in fact, we've going through the process of getting Taryn and Key in their German citizenship. They'll be the last down the line. Yeah,
free university. Like,
I go to Germany, man. Yeah. So anyway, it was really cool, man. So
Dave Vinci.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So my mom said, "All right, fam." She packed up the whole fam and took us out to Europe for over a month, and what a crazy trip. And it was neat because we were in Berlin and walking along the wall and reading all about it, and it was interesting to get the perspective of the Germans that live there and what they think about it. And there is
history.
Yeah, and there's a ton of shame about that. Like they don't really think of it too differently than we do. Like it's not like they're like, well, he wasn't so bad. Like no. Like
it was bad. Yeah.
It's like it's a shameful part of their history. But it was really neat. That stuff wasn't as exciting, actually, Checkpoint Charlie and stuff like that, but it was really cool. I fell in love with Paris. I don't know if you've been to Paris. Yeah, you have. And you and a couple other people, too, said, you curbed my expectations, which might have helped me enjoy it. Because you said, nah, it's going to stink, and there's dog shit, and it's...
lots of dog shit, lots of piss.
When you go there, and it's hyped as the most romantic place in the world, and you get there, I actually didn't find too much dog shit or piss. Oh. The parts for me that were terrible were the Eiffel Tower. It's now surrounded by a fence. To prevent terrorism.
What?
Yeah, you can't.
Because you're going to blow up a piece of iron.
I guess.
Thick.
And around the entire fence, and I mean wall to wall to wall, are all these, they're Congolese. Is that the term for someone from the Congo?
Really?
Yeah, but it's all the same culture. Congo, I think it's Congo. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they all have blankets laid out with all the exact same products in them. Exact same mini Eiffel Towers, fidget spinners, anything that's going to sell. Just junk. Just a fucking pile of junk. And there's thousands of these guys. You can't go anywhere, and they're aggressive. Like you can't walk around and enjoy it without some guy in a bitch trying to sell you some shit. I fucking hate that shit.
Do you remember
Flick in Vegas? Yeah,
in Vegas,
the worst part of Paris was the fucking Eiffel Tower. And then I went out for a walk at night with Stacy. We just went out for a walk, and you see the Eiffel Tower in the distance. I'm like, oh, no, that's in the distance. It's pretty nice.
6-story residential because you can't build a building higher.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, it's so amazing. Yeah. And everyone goes to sleep in Paris. It's not the city. It's not. It's like everybody's just cobblestone roads and anyway, it's amazing.
Yeah, we're walking, and then all of a sudden the Eiffel Tower lights up into what is probably best described as a cheesy Christmas lights display. Like that, the guy down the street that takes his Christmas lights too seriously, and they're flashing, woo-doo, and music starts playing. They do that now to the Eiffel Tower at night. Ding, lights and music, and I'm like, it looks like a giant Christmas tree. It looks fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And
this is August. Like, it's not some Christmas bullshit. This is what they just do. And you go up there like, oh, let's climb up the tower. Dude, there's a lineup, hours and hours long. You have to pre-book online to walk up. And you pay, it's exorbitant. I can't remember, like $80 a person or something to walk up. And then if you want to be like carried half the way in a fucking, gondola, it's like $100 whatever per person just like to be up there to like look around.
Supply and demand.
It's incredible, the money machine. I sat out there. The most amazing thing to me about the Eiffel Tower was the sheer number of fucking people there taking pictures of it and paying that money to go up there. That is the most genius money-making business I've ever heard. And did you know something, Jeff?
Yeah.
Did you know that the Eiffel Tower is not owned by France or Paris? It's a privately owned piece of property and a privately owned monument. There's business dudes.
Good for them.
Tom let me know this as we were walking. He's like, hey, did you know? There's actually a bunch of guys just own that. That's their business. They make billions. It's the single most visited monument on Earth now. It's the number of tours. Like, man, it's next level.
It wasn't that way in 2004 when I was there.
No, there's no fences.
No fences.
You could walk where you wanted.
The only person selling anything was like someone selling cotton candy.
Dude, there are fucking armed guards everywhere. Like with full automatic stuff walking around those French troopers, right? It's that's not super cool. Lack of public toilets. I had to pee outside in Paris a lot. That kind of sucked. But what are you gonna do?
Oh yeah, they
cheap wine everywhere and nowhere to pee.
Les pissoirs.
But being able to drink. But anyways, it was really great. What was really great was we Airbnb'd the entire trip. except the very first stop in Nuremberg or whatever. But we Airbnb'd the rest of the whole trip. So we had a kitchen, and we got to live, as we would at home, but also as you would in the countries we visited. So in the morning, it'd be like 7 in the morning. I was down at the grocers in Paris. I'm getting fresh bread, getting some shit, bringing the food home.
Carry that baguette.
Yeah, carry it back.
The bare piece of bread with your hand.
Yeah, and people carry around baguettes.
They do.
It's not a stereotype. They literally do. It's like everywhere baguettes. I'm like, holy fucking baguettes.
Because the French do not eat day-old bread. They wouldn't put that shit in their mouths. They don't eat bread that's from 5 days ago. There's no fucking way. They eat fresh bread because it's way better for it. And bread is way better baked on the same day. It's
so good, man.
The drop-off of quality.
I dug it. And there was a lot that people were wrong about Paris. I expected bad service, rude service. Maybe it's because I always open in French. But man, I was treated so well. They were excited. I had actually way better service than Toronto. Way better than Toronto. Pilfingren.
28 months in a row. Thanks, man. In a row. I love it.
Thanks, Pilfingren, man. Yeah, I was surprised. The level of service was better than Toronto on average. Yep. And we had some great experiences, laid out at night, drinking wine on the patio. And, the whole night I would talk to the server in French, and he would talk to me in English. And we never talked about the fact we were doing this, but he talked to me in broken English, I talked to him in broken French. And we hit it off. This guy was awesome the whole night. It was like this mutual respect of I speak your language shittily and you speak my language shittily. Oh, sorry.
He brought you the wrong food all night. He didn't care.
No, he comes and he gets the wine. Would you like to taste it? I'm like, just pour the fucking wine, man. What do you think? I'm going to taste it and send it back. No. Come on. Pour the wine, man. Yeah. Which was fantastic wine and cheap,
Dude, the wine prices. Wine is a fundamental right in Paris.
Oh,
if they started taxing wine, it would be riots.
It's €2 at the store for a bottle.
Yeah, for a bottle. Yeah,
it's like a pint of Heineken's like €2, or a bottle of wine is €2.
Yeah, it's
I started drinking a lot of wine, man.
No, the wine is so cheap. Like bums drink wine. They don't drink mouthwash like in Canada. Bums drink French wine in France because it's so cheap. It's cheaper than mouthwash. It's like, yeah. Did you go to the catacombs?
No.
Did you have to lick in game or?
Stacy's terrified. She didn't want to go anywhere near the catacombs. I tried to get into Roland Garros, and then apparently it's totally closed. I was really excited to check out Roland Garros. But man, we checked out a lot of stuff. It was really cool. One of the coolest things that happened. Actually, I can't really get super detailed about the story. But we had just, when we were in Berlin, we were going to Hamburg next. Hamburg's a great city. And the day before we left for Hamburg, there was a terrorist incident in Hamburg. Some guy, Akbar'd some people in a grocery store with a knife. And so it's all over the news in Germany, right? In Hamburg, and we're leaving the next day for Hamburg. It's like terrorist attack in Hamburg. So because mom's like, oh my god, I'm like, oh fuck, whatever, it's fucking everywhere. Okay, we're 10 times more likely to get hit by a car on the way to Hamburg than fucking. But so we go there. We go to Hamburg. Hamburg's great, and then we go to we went into the Netherlands after that. Went to Amsterdam, had some beers with Wyman, Scree, Wyman's girlfriend. I think I did have a lot of beer that night. Who else was there? But it was great. Anyways, and then later that night we went out, and everyone was kind of leaving, walking home, and Stacey and I were walking home with Scree. I went down, we're just talking, and there's the canal there, and the water's flowing, and we've had quite a few, and and all of a sudden, we just hear this, bang, and then pop, 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 ah, pop, 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 la, la, la. And dude, I fucking lost it. Lost in terms of went totally white, turned around and just started walking the opposite direction. I'm like, Stacey, let's go. Ernst, let's go. And Ernst's just like, no, let's check it out. And he's walking in the direction of the pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, what the fuck? Totally fearless. But I'm more North American fear-based, right? So I'm like, Stacey, if he wants to die, that's fine. We're going. Let's go. Walking opposite direction. So I'm walking this way, and Ernst is walking towards it, and he's looking over there. He's like, oh, no, it's okay, guys. And it was just so crazy. The sound was fucking gunfire. And the yelling and the shit following the initial huge explosion. So what turns out happens at 2 a.m, downtown Amsterdam, is some guy probably drunk. The thing goes pop pop, and that's what the car collided with a power transformer, which went pop pop pop, boom, and then the power transformer was setting off sparks, went pop 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 pop. All these sparks shooting and flames shooting everywhere. And everyone's yelling because they're telling the other cars to be able to get the fuck away. It could explode, right? Everyone's like, get away! Be safe! Be safe! But they're yelling, be safe in Dutch. And I'm hearing Allahu Akbar in my head, right? but Scree hears the be safe, right? So he's like, no, guys.
That's what terrorists should yell. Be safe.
Be safe. I love you. What's this guy?
Love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
But I was terrified. I got to admit, man. Like I shit my pants. Not literally, but wow. I won't forget that fright from.
Figuratively.
Because I think we were even just talking about it. So it was so on my mind, the idea. Because we had mentioned a few times we were there. Because I think there was a couple of 2 or 3 attacks during our month there. There was in Paris, some guy ran over a bunch of people in a van about a couple weeks before we went there. Like Europeans actually live with these incidents far more frequently than North Americans do. North Americans actually, we live with white Christian terrorists mostly, right? It's usually some white guy shooting up a bunch of people because he's afraid of something. But they actually have like the jihadist guys. They're doing shit like mowing people down in trucks on the bridge, London, right? And it's so it's kind of on your mind when you're North American. You're there, like I mean, before we went, my grandma actually said, I can't believe you guys are going to Europe in this time. I can't believe you guys are going to Europe. Are you crazy? All the terrorists? Yeah. And I was like, wow, like there was that level of fear going there. And that's like, and I'm not afraid of that shit, but it's at the back of your mind, man. And you hear scream, pop, 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 pop. Dude, there is no other thing to think in that state of mind. Like it's not walk toward, right? It's definitely not a walk toward. I didn't sprint away, but man, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was cool. No, the trip was cool. Belgium was cool. It was all interesting. A lot of it different than I expected, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. And we got to ride a bullet train. Tanner rediscovered his love of train. Oh, it's cool. Oh, yeah, it was a good time. I'm a big fan, but it was great. So I really enjoyed seeing all of the aspects of the culture that I think are, I would say, more advanced than ours, a bit more cultured. More cultured culture, but also the things I missed that it's not like I came home and oh man, Canada sucks. There's a lot that I came home to. I was like, fucking A, man.
A big drink of water at a restaurant for free.
Oh, Europeans, like two big things: air conditioning and water.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I can live without air conditioning, but it's annoying. Like air conditioning is better than not air conditioning if you're excluding environmental concerns. But the water, man. The water.
Yeah, it's why I could never live in Europe unless I was made of money, because I would just spend so much money at restaurants on water. Yeah, still water.
Yeah. It was neat though, man. Living in people's apartments and getting to use their kitchen and live their life. And most of the people that we stayed at had families, at least 1 or 2 kids. So we'd get there. Right away, the kids would go into their kids' rooms, toys everywhere. Kean's on cloud 9. Every time we went to a new place, there's a whole ton of new Hot Wheels and new everything. He's just freaking out, even Tara. People had Xboxes, PS4 stuff. Like not that he even actually ended up playing it, but it was there, right? Like he had that kind of creature comfort. Yeah. He could log into his account, play his fucking games, and yeah, it was good times. Anyway,
speaking of cultural differences, here's my segue into something I wanted to talk about. So I spent
speaking of cultural differences, vaginas.
I spent 6 days in New York City recently, and we've been to New York before, right? It's like New York's great. It feels like it's the center of the universe. It's like all this stuff going on. The architecture is insane. What, you going to someone talk about what?
I feel like these people implying that in North America we don't drink tap water or we can't? Pretty sure we actually have some of the best tap water on Earth because of the unlimited amounts of water in Canada.
Yeah, like at a restaurant in Finland, do you default get served water before?
No.
Like sometimes in restaurants before you sit down, there's water in restaurants in Canada.
They bring you water with your menu.
Yeah, it's like here's the water.
Here's a massive water.
Yeah, and it's like in Germany in the airport. It's like, you want water? Here's €7. It's a tiny thimble of water. There you go. Have fun dehydrating. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Here's my...
Especially when the water is more expensive than the alcohol. Especially in Paris. Like, €4 for 350 milliliters of water in the restaurant. Or €2 for a bottle of wine. And come on.
And it comes in a bottle. It's like supposed to be like a glass
bottle.
It's all
fancy. I don't want a glass bottle. It's one sip for me, man.
Yeah, but you remember in Poland, it's like, can I have some tap water? It's like, you want the same water that fills your toilet? It's like, yeah. That amazing chlorinated fresh water that is just fucking fine. I love that water. Don't put a glass in a toilet, though, please, because there's been shit in the toilet recently. I hope there's not shit in your tap or in your sink recently, because that would be unsanitary. But yeah, I love the water that comes from your tap. And yeah, it's the same toilet. It's like, but whatever. Culturally, they're like, okay, yeah, you are a vagrant. You are for sure a vagrant if you drink tap water at a restaurant in Poland. Yeah. But that's a cultural difference.
Yeah, Germany, we got some dirty looks in the waiters, some tap water waitresses. Germans have terrible service, man. Holy fuck,
dude! I think I would honestly like have a Camelback hidden or something.
You might, yeah. Honestly, you might.
I just suck up a bunch of water when no one was looking, and I would be like, I don't feel shame about this because, like, I think I drink a lot of water because my skin is glowing. Obviously, you guys can't see it's black and white, but whatever. Because I drink a lot of water, and it's important for me to do that. But I'm not going to pay, 35 euros of water at a restaurant because I would drink 35 euros of water if you added it up in my Canadian restaurant experience.
Oh yeah, like, 35 euros, man. Yep.
It's crazy. So anyway, cultural differences. New York City. You remember Miranda? You know Miranda from the web series Taji? She lives in New York City. She lives in New York City, and she hosted us for 3 nights when we were there, and we hung out a lot and caught up, and it was amazing. And when we were there last for the premiere, I was saying like, "Oh, you live in New York, amazing, amazing," and she was like, "Yeah, New York loses its luster after a while." Like, I'm like, "What? You don't feel this energy, this amazing New Yorkness?" And she was like, "No, I live here. I just want to live in the country now." And I was like, "What? How do you, Miranda, what?" And I didn't get it until my most recent trip. I didn't really fully viscerally understand this diminishing experience of New York. And honestly, man, it is this weird trap, in my opinion now. It's like rent is so insane there that everybody has to work crazy hours and crazy amounts to be able to afford rent, and it's kind of traps you, and it's kind of like
it's a great place to visit, man.
It's a great place to visit, and like so she lives there, and it's like all of her friends they work. The work-life balance is insane, and in fact, it is her intention to move to Toronto in 1 or 2 years, as soon as they figure out their job situation, whatever. Because they just don't want to be in New York anymore. And man, my recent so I stayed at Miranda's place and in a hotel when I was there for 6 days, and I'm shitting you not, like my double pane glass at the hotel, like 3 nights out of the 6, 1:30 in the morning. Somebody is on a motorcycle, and somebody on the motorcycle goes, vroom, 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 like 1,000 people awake, 2,000 people awake, 2,500 people awake.
Well, that needs to be illegal, man. And I bet you it will be illegal, especially in the future of electric vehicles. Right? When oh man,
dude, I just so here's
that
the
shit
thing.
drives me mental.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like I am literally sound asleep. I am sleeping like a baby, and I am fully awake from the sound, just the sound, not even thinking about what's happening. Then I think about what's happening, and I'm like, wait a second, this is interesting. There's a human being. There's a human being right now.
Yep.
On ground level. I am on the 7th floor of a double pane glass hotel, Best Western, whatever. It's not a shithole. It is, well, if you consider a Best Western a shithole.
Ricky Gervais ain't staying in a Best Western.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not the best hotel. It's the Best Western hotel, right? But like, it's not like my window's open, right? Is what I'm saying. So, it's like this is 2 panes of glass, and the guy's bram. Like I'm on the 6th floor. There's like babies and people staying in this hotel, like they're all waking up, bram. Because somebody, and this, so the layers of this is crazy to me. Because you don't have to rev your engine when you're in neutral on a motorcycle, right? You can turn your engine on. You can put it in first gear. You can go blah, 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 you can drive away, right? You don't have to go rev, 1,000 people away, 2,000 people away, because the population density is crazy in New York. So this human being is doing this.
Thousands and thousands of hours of sleep lost. The health hit, right? The
for
collective health
the
hit.
visceral feeling of, and so you got to wonder.
But the thing is, no, that's I don't want to. I think it's just that.
I'll finish my story first. So New York has a culture of like, well, we do it here, we do it right? New York is like, we have the best this, the best that, the best shows, the best arts and entertainment, the best restaurants, the best. If you want anything that's the best in New York, we got it, right? So they have a sense of like, but they have this thing about their culture about being, loud and brash and, a New Yorker, right? And it's like, cross-culturally among all humanity, if you took somebody from Ghana, right, or took someone from Japan, especially from Japan, and you said, look at what's happening here. There's a man at 1:30 in the morning revving a motorcycle, waking up thousands of people. They'd be like, does he not feel shame? What is wrong with this human being? Do they not feel ashamed of what, like what is...
No, he feels powerless. He feels powerless and helpless, and he's frustrated and he's angry, and that's his power. He just woke 50,000 people up, and he did that.
Yeah, this is your contribution to humanity. You were put on the planet to wake people up. Yeah. It's like,
be proud, man.
Are you the Grinch? Are you stealing presents from under the tree of the whole town?
People know my name now. I took all the presents. Everyone's talking about it. I'm powerful.
But they don't even know your name. It's like, I don't know what the guy looks like. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, or if it's what age they are, or anything about
They didn't know the Grinch's name until he came out and said, I'm the Grinch. So maybe the motorcyclist needs to be like, hey, I'm the gay. I'm that fucking fag that runs his engine every day at 3
But why is that only happening in New York City?
When I say fag in the South Park context, right?
Why is the shame not there in New York, but the shame is there in all other parts of the world? What is special about New York? And in fact, New Yorkers, they honk their horns. They honk their horns all the time, right? And it's like for anything. It's like a crying baby. It's like when you take care of an infant child, and when something's not ideal, it cries, right? It's like, I'm a little bit too hot. My foot is wet. I cry at the top of my lungs. Just like something's not ideal. Anything, any tiny thing. I'm a little bit peckish. I need milk now. Right? It's like, this is what New Yorkers are. They are like, you didn't drive ideally. You didn't drive ideally. It's like, something's not ideal. I need to honk full force. And in fact, I saw this guy in the Lincoln Navigator driving who had a custom horn. Because the default horn in the Lincoln Navigator was not annoying enough. He had a more annoying horn installed. It was like beep 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 beep, and it was extra loud and extra beepy. And I was like, you fucking guy, you were such a New Yorker. You had a more annoying horn in your Lincoln Navigator than came with the Lincoln Navigator. And so it was just, the culture just really blew me away. And
that would be like a deal breaker. That's so amazing. Imagine you meet a woman. You're single. She's gorgeous. You have all these similar interests. You hit it off. You know that chemistry you feel when you meet someone. You have that thing. You just like, you're like, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with them. And you get into her car, and she's like taking you back to her place at 3 a.m. She's not busting out an air mattress, this one. And she honks her horn at someone and goes, beep, ba, 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 boo. And you go, hey, baby, what's with that horn? She's like, oh, I got it installed. It's extra loud and annoying. I'm like, you can drop me off at the corner here, baby. I'm going to go find another life partner.
I'm going to call
That's a
Uber.
Fucking deal breaker. That's so amazing to me. I think it just says so much about the person. Yeah. Right? But I do think it's a power thing, then. That guy could have woken up Ricky Gervais, and he would laugh about it. It's like trolling in real life. Right?
So, now, Jarrett, this is the thing. This happened 3 nights out of the 6. Different motorcycles. In between 1 and 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's amazing.
3 different motorcycles. And it's like, I don't care how rich I am. I don't care what job it is. I'm not living in, unless I guess humans get used to everything, right? New Yorkers would laugh at me maybe, and they'd be like, you got woken up by someone revving the motorcycle engine, like, 80 decibels in your room, that woke you up? Like, New Yorkers might think that, and be like, dude, I'm so used to it, I'm a New Yorker, right? This is the way to live your life. It's like, no!
Well, because the first, like, the axiom is New York is the best. Yeah. Which is an attitude held by many New Yorkers. Like, New York is the center of the universe, it's the height of culture, and so when you start with America's the best, and when you work from there, then it's pretty easy to be like, oh, it's your problem you can't put up with the horns because it can't be New York's because we've already established it's the best. That's been ingrained in my attitude since I've lived here. But like, oh, did that wake you up? It's like you can't possibly think that that's all right. That's happening, right?
But what's wrong with the guy? Like, get help. If you rev your engine, if you're even planning to run, it's
he's the neckbeard of the motorcycle.
It's like I'm planning to stay till 1:30, so I will not take my motorcycle because it is too loud at night for this high density population. Should be the thought process, right? It's like I'm going to make alternate plans than to take my motorcycle. But man, it is a crazy culture, and in fact, going around like New York is romantic in the sense like Greenwich Village, like Bob Dylan at the coffee shops, the voice of his generation, the folk music movement that happened there, and all the artists that went to New York and like conglomerated there and made great art. Which
I just want to make sure. Do we thank Red Effect and Yomafontes and Da Vinci? I know we got Cool Finger and Shifty Looking Gamer and Shenmue and Don Reven. Why isn't this? Sorry, guys. Yeah, definitely we missed some of those names, man.
We're missing a lot of subs. Yeah, we've been ranting pretty hard.
I feel bad. I feel shame. I feel like I just revved my motorcycle at 1:30 in the morning. Yeah. That's how I feel right now. I feel shame.
So
thank you, guys.
So all of the artistic movement that happened in the 60s in New York and all the recording studios in the 70s and the great art and all of the cultural history of New York, of the art creators, right? It's like you go to Greenwich Village, you're like, this is where Joni Mitchell was hanging out and doing gigs, and Bob Dylan was doing gigs, and it's like legendary. But like, artists can't afford to live there anymore. It's not that anymore at all. It is something completely different. There's no artists live in New York, I guess, except for what's this?
I don't know. It's some guy put a train horn on his car. Everyone's talking about laughing, and I don't want to blow.
Yeah. Anyway,
he's train horning some people. He's train horning some people.
So anyway,
he's just the ultimate man.
Yeah, I like the idea that New York is an artistic center. I don't think artists can afford to live there anymore. So why would you go there and be like, think it's a very romantic artistic community and whatever? Like I had all these false impressions of it, and I was like, of course, you can't afford. Of course, you're spread out and on the internet, all the artists these days, right? So anyway, New York, man.
Yeah, I still had a great time last time we were there. I'd love to visit again. I wouldn't move there. I mean, unless I was a super multimillionaire, and maybe, because if ask Ricky next time you see him,
he lives in London.
No, he's got pads, and he's got 13 different pads. He has several pads in Manhattan. It's his favorite city.
He buys. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's always talking up New York, but I think he's like on the 55th floor behind triple pane glass. He probably can't hear shit. Right.
Maybe if you get up there enough.
When you got a penthouse overlooking Central Park with quadruple pane glass, it's actually like it's a pretty good city.
You could probably have like
it's a pretty good city, man.
Like hexapane glass if you have Ricky Gervais level of.
Yeah, there's nothing artistic about New York. That's crazy to think that. That's purely like their history. That's their brand. It's a remnant of their brand from the past, man. You can't possibly be an artist and live in New York. It's fucking impossible. Austin, Texas might be one of the artist capitals of the USA now. Is that the case? Like, I mean, it's you have to go to places that you can afford to live, and artists find those places, and then those places become hip and cool, and then everybody can't live there anymore, which is kind of happening to Toronto right now, actually, which was an art capital of Canada for years and years, and right now you can't reasonably afford to live in Toronto as an artist, right? You've obviously got to have a decent paying day job, or you're living with 5 buddies in a shitty place, right? It's right, but that's okay because I'm trying. Montreal will pick up this. I don't know. Montreal's still cheap. I don't know. Maybe not. There's always going to be art. They'll just move.
It just depends on where it is.
Just be self-aware of your city and when they've moved out. Just stop calling New York. New York is Wall Street, man. It's money. It's pure money. But fantastic restaurants and fantastic people. Yeah. Traveling the world too. Man, the U.S. does service so right. I've probably been like 30 different countries now, man. Dude, the service in restaurants in the United States of America needs to be emulated everywhere.
Why do you think that is?
It's the tipping, I'm assuming, right?
It's the
But
tipping.
we tip here, but Toronto has shit service.
It's the tipping, and it's the fact that people doing service jobs in the U.S. don't think it's a stepping stone. right? They don't think it's beneath them. They think it's their job, and they do it well. And they're like, yeah, this is a good job. Which is interesting, because a lot of people in service jobs in Canada think like, oh, man, this job.
Yeah, I can't wait till I get on the next Friends sitcom. I'm only doing this part-time.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Oh, I gotta get it.
Okay.
Is there a fire?
Uh-oh.
It's only a fire in the imagination of my son.
Oh, no way.
He needs to use the fire hose.
Oh, that's adorable. Aw.
Here's the fire hose. You
No
can put
way.
Out the fire
That
now.
is so cute.
He has to
Yeah,
put out
needs
the
to do
fire.
it before bed. Got to get the fire put out. Aw.
Yeah. I keep trying to put it away, thinking he's going to forget about it, but yeah.
Also, with this stream today, people were saying Joel earlier, and why doing this? Because this stream actually we had no specific start time because I was out of town today. I was quite a far ways away. By European standards, I was literally in a different country this morning.
Yeah.
Right. If you're Belgian, I was in Germany. Right. You know what I mean? This morning. And I didn't know when I was going to be getting back, and I ended up being very late. It was Taryn's tennis tournament. He had a tennis tournament today, and it went so late. Like there were so many kids, and there was troubles with all the court. Anyways, it went super duper late. So I'm glad we didn't. We were going to call it at 3 p.m. Fuck, man, I wasn't even in the car. Was I in the car at 3 p.m.? Anyway, so that's why, because it's hard to schedule something when you have no idea. So we just decided, you know what? Like when we're here, when we're ready, it's here. We'll just turn it on. It's the best we could do, guys. It's the best we could do today.
We got a lot of shit going on.
We got a lot. There's so much to talk about, and there's really not that much time.
No time, yeah.
But are you busy next Sunday? Because
Let me see.
that's my last Sunday till the new year, and could be for a while because it's Taryn's tournament schedule is like it's basically weekly, except next week his tournament is on Saturday. So I actually have Sunday off, so I could actually do an early start. But other than that, like my Sundays are permanently going to be moved to evenings, for that reason. Yeah, it's like. Oh yeah, yes. Is there future plans? It's funny. Before the stream started, we're like, oh, right off the top, we should address this so that it's not like.
Yeah, we didn't. It's at the end.
We're at the. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's not. We're not trying to string you along or anything. There's been little progress behind the scenes with the movie in terms of distribution. Still, like Netflix ain't knocking. Still talking to Steam. Still trying to get the movie out there on the back end. There's lots of really boring administrative stuff on the back end. There is no new Pwnage in the works right now, and when there is, we're not going to announce it. Like you're going to know, right? Like we'll do something neat. If and when that time would ever come, it wouldn't just be like us on stream doing it anyway. So, anyways, I hope you weren't waiting the whole stream just for that. Now you're fucking off because like, oh fuck it. But no, like right now there's nothing new working on. We're still in our brains not completely finished with trying to maximize, have the movie reach its potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. That's just how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah. We can keep going. By the way, I just heard that the bedtime went all right, and then.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh great! Awesome.
So long as we don't get loud and wakey uppy.
Yep. Your haircut's looking fresh.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Viceland produced new Fubar series. Yeah, Viceland just got their funding cut by Rogers, which sucks because Nirvana, the band, the show is an amazing show on Viceland. Recommend all you guys watch it.
Viceland got all their funding cut?
Yeah, things are happening with Rogers. So, do you know about Nirvana, the band, the show?
Yes,
I told you about this, didn't I?
Yeah.
It was on the stream.
Is Morgan Waters in that one too? Or is
No.
Okay.
It's Matt Johnson and Jay McCarroll. Matt Johnson, he's my favorite Canadian filmmaker / TV guy. He's making Nirvana, the band, the show for TV, and he made a show. He made a movie called The Dirties, which he got into film festivals, and Kevin Smith saw it and was like, "This is fucking amazing. This show, this movie called The Dirties by Matt Johnson," and
Guys, we're not leaving. These guys think their stream's behind because they think people are saying goodnight, like we said goodnight.
No.
And my last comment is my stream is behind too by Tony, the Gamer Dad Elite. So now you're marked. I think you're at most 30 seconds behind. In fact, I even have the thing checked on Twitch was to reduce stream delay for more interaction with your viewers at the potential cost of lag or some shit. I'm like, no, given that we're just chatting, I think it's important to have it quick. So actually, it should be less than 30 seconds, guys. Like, kind of waiting for Tony to say, oh, yeah, I heard you in less than 30 seconds. Anyways, okay. Yeah, we're not going.
So Matt Johnson made The Dirties, which Kevin Smith loved and distributed. He distributed the movie. And then Kevin Smith was in Matt Johnson's next movie.
I'm just making a note.
Yeah. You got to see this movie because it's...
yeah.
So this movie...
IMDb 3.5. Oh, delete my note. Like...
So he filmed... So he's a guerrilla filmmaker, right? He's low budget. He gets a camera, gets some people, and he shoots some stuff. So The Dirties is a movie about two guys that plan a school shooting, right? And they're bullied and whatever. And it's so well done. There's great heart. There's great story structure, great writing, great acting. And
yeah, I'm listening. I just what?
I haven't logged in, so you got to do it there.
Okay, great acting, great. I'm listening. I just so that people know. Where's this thing? Where's my child? Now. Okay, Jeff?
Yeah, now. Okay, you just texted now in the chat. So
yeah.
If you're wondering what the sync is like.
Yeah, that's the sync.
So, this movie, I love this movie. He filmed it by enrolling in high school as a student. And he actually went to the high school and he actually shot footage in the high school and he told all the high school, his peers, even though he's like, 5, 6, 7, 8 years older than high school, right? He still looked young. So he went back to high school, literally enrolled.
It's like the dream.
I know, it's like the dream. It's like to go back.
The most common fantasy, probably.
Yeah,
next to threesome is going back to high school, right? It's got to be top 3.
So he went back to high school when I heard about this, I'm like, man, my fucking gray hair and my wrinkles and my old ass face. I'm like, I would love to do this. So he went back and he filmed, and everyone knew him as that guy making a movie. Oh, that new student making a movie who was in my calculus class or whatever, right? So he filmed scenes in like classroom changes in the hallway where people are like in the background, just guerrilla, whatever. And he filmed things with teachers who thought he was making a student movie, but he was making the movie and a different movie about making the movie. It's like layers of this. So,
and this is The Dirties, right?
So yeah, The Dirties. So he has a teacher saying, reviewing his movie in the movie that he had the teacher act in. It's so amazing, the layers of what's going on. Just watch it and you'll see. You'll be like, oh my God, I see, yeah. But anyway, basically, a lot of people in the movie are unwitting participants in the movie. Right? They're acting as themselves, but they don't think that this is the movie. They think it's just like some behind the scenes in the movie, but that's the movie. Right? So he made this amazing movie. And he made another movie after that.
How did Kevin Smith see the movie?
At film festivals. So at Sundance or whatever. And then Kevin Smith
so he got into fucking Sundance.
And Kevin Smith.
Because I think if Kevin Smith watched Pwnage the movie, he'd probably go, that's actually surprisingly good given the budget. Like, what the fuck?
Hope so.
Maybe he'd go like, hey, these guys don't have any distribution for this awesome film. I'm not saying it's the best film. I think it's a pretty good fucking movie. It's especially impressive how we made it with our budget. It was crazy with that budget. How the fuck does Kevin Smith watch it? I'm just like, he takes 90 minutes out of his day to watch some randos film, but I guess film festivals, man. Film festivals.
Yeah. It works. So then
Kevin Smith.
I saw his movie. I saw his movie. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. I saw Nirvana the band, the show, who a friend of mine recommended on Facebook. I'm like, oh, this is an amazing show. I love this show. And I remember seeing some clips from it because it has to do with video. They're big gamers too, whatever. And the other guy in the Nirvana the band, the show, Jay McCarroll, I seen some of his music because he's in a band. And in fact, I was going through some old business cards, and I saw Jay McCarroll's business card because I had seen him perform live in Toronto. And whenever I see a great musician perform, I go up to him like, hey, can I have your card? Might want to record you, whatever, and we'll work together. I don't know. and so it's funny. I had Jay McCarroll's business card, and I wrote "good voice" on it. Like, you know, it's like good voice. You know, I'm like, oh, me 5 years ago thought he had a good voice. You know, but here he is. I'm seeing him in Nirvana, the band, the show. I'm seeing Matt Johnson. I was like, Matt, oh my God. So I wanted to connect with Matt. So I looked him up. I called him on his number. I'm like, whatever he had for the Nirvana, the band, the show, like answering machine, like leave us a message. So I called him. I'm like, hey Matt, my name's Jeff LePere. I'm a producer in Toronto. I want to connect. You know, I like your stuff, and maybe we'll work together. Whatever. I just want to chat. And he called me back, and he goes, Jeff. And I was like, yeah. Who's it? He's like, it's Matt Johnson. He's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. We went to Pwnage in like Bloor Cinema. Like,
shut the fuck up.
I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man. Like, at episode 9, like we saw your show. We're like, we can make a show too.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
I was like, what?
Wow.
I was like, Matt Johnson, you watched Pwnage? He's like, yeah. He's like, and Pwnage is like one of the big reasons why we started Nirvana, the band, the show, which is now like a 3-season show on Vice. You know, I was like, wow. I hope, you know, there's some inspiration there. I hope that, I saw that you also produce low budget. So, but it was probably like not like by seeing Pwnage being low budget. It was probably out of necessity. But it's like, you know, I hope you got some inspiration from our show, and that, you know, it's like, it's amazing to be like, you saw our show and you thought, I'm gonna make a show, and now I'm a huge fan of your show. It's like, that's the best reciprocation.
That's pretty crazy, man.
It's crazy.
No
so yeah. watch the Dirties and see how guerrilla it is.
How big is Matt Johnson? Because I actually don't know who that is, and I don't know the name, and I've never watched Nirvana, the band, the show. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I can't recall a show that you recommended so highly that I then didn't like.
Yeah, here, I'll show you this picture.
Jeff, have you seen The Walking Dead?
I have.
Oh, really? How much of The Walking Dead? Was it more or less than 2 seasons? Okay. My bet was under 2, that you couldn't get through 2.
Okay, so I got through 3 episodes.
Ah, yeah!
And it was after 3 episodes that I realized what the show was.
90210, Skinned with Zombies.
Yeah. It was the standard. They do there's a lot of these shows, and the show is guy with leadership skills who's just like you and has street smarts wins the day. And that's the show, I think. It's like, I got that sense of like, guy with street smarts wins the day. And
it's not so American film that way.
Yeah.
It's not an American patriotic film.
Yeah.
You know, where the guy uses his football skills to crush the rocket scientists.
Right, this is just like that football game.
Yeah.
Like,
the trajectory of the asteroid it's just like the pigskin. All we gotta do is tackle the receiver, and the planet will spin.
The analogy saves the humanity.
Yeah.
Of football.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, it'll get so much worse than that, Jeff. Oh my God.
Really? What are the layers of worse?
Oh, it's well, I gotta pee really bad. You know what? I can't start getting into this without peeing. Sorry, I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring that up and go.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about The Walking Dead. I've only seen 3 episodes, but I have seen Stranger Things Season 1. Have not seen Season 2. I'm looking forward to seeing Season 2. A big part because it's made for my generation, who is very nostalgic for the 80s. I love the 80s. I love the films from the 80s. I love having been in the 80s. And, yeah. I haven't been playing music lately. I haven't been making music in terms of recording, but I've been playing a lot of music, specifically drums. I've been secretly practicing drums for the past 8 years. So I haven't ever... I might post a video of me making some music soon. Playing drums and doing some funk stuff with the Rhodes and the Mini Moog bass. Yeah, I've been practicing drums for 8 years. I don't perform in public often. But yeah, man, I love playing drums. Drums are amazing. Such a great instrument, and especially getting the 3 limbs or the 4 limbs going. Like, you know, with piano, you've got your pedal, whatever, 3 limbs max with a little bit of sustain pedal, and your fingers and digits, whatever. But like with drums, to get 4 limbs is a big step. So it took me a long time to get the kick drum solid in the pocket, as they say, because just having your foot with a whole bunch of action being sequenced, the thing with learning an instrument is that it really has to become an extension of your body. You can't be thinking, okay, I'm gonna hit this now and hit that now. You just have to really play long enough that you just have an idea in your head and it musically comes out. So I finally gotten there with drums, I think. I'm no Bernard Purdy, but I can get pretty funky, and the ideas can come out from my body, and most of the time I have no idea what my left foot's doing, which is good, because it's just the sound's happening, and it's like I'm not even controlling my left foot, and just like, but I still have to think of the kick drum on my right foot a lot. And of course, the arms are easy when you're a keyboard player, because you're used to being musical with your arms. But yeah, Walking Dead. Okay, I'm gonna go pee and I'm gonna come back and we'll talk about Walking Dead. Is this the plan?
We can't. Yeah. Okay. Here. Have I watched Stranger Things? I haven't finished the 2nd season yet. I watched the 1st season. I thought it was all right. I watched the first 2 episodes of the 2nd season so far. I mean, we'll finish it just because it's such a big show. The reason I started watching The Walking Dead, because it's like one of the biggest cable programs ever produced or something, and I needed to know what the appeal was, and all it did is, of course, reduce my respect for humanity in general. And so Stranger Things, yeah, I mean, Stranger Things was better than The Walking Dead, but I find like particularly Winona Ryder's performance is, I think, it's laughably over the top throughout season 1, and I heard that she's gotten better in season 2, but the first couple episodes, like, it was still like there's a discomfort on camera for me that I can't seem to shake. It really bugs me, and just the first season dated 2 second season. It's kind of like the overuse of the 80s memes. Like, yeah, we remember the 80s, cool. Oh, that song, or yeah, I remember that product, or anything else. Cool. In the long run, that doesn't make something good, right? That's just like a neat moment. Oh yeah, cool. Like, there's those nostalgia moments. A lot of people really freak out about those. Like, it's, oh my god, yeah, it's amazing. Like, there was a callback to the 80s. Like, and of course, like, I'd have to, I'm gonna break it down. I have to watch it with you again, watch it again and try to break it down. But it's like it constantly those situations, characters not acting in their own best interest, acting totally irrationally. Like, there's too much disbelief to suspend, and then like the inconsistencies in the other world, the upside down. Like, it's all so silly though. Like the upside down world, and then there's a big military base right there, and like mom and the cop go in together. Yeah, they're the most qualified. Like, and they totally got, like, it's so unbelievable and so stupid in so many ways that I think if you stop thinking about how cool it is to be reminded of the 80s, and and it's I don't know. I don't think it's that impressive of a show, but I guess I'm the weird one. But then again, The Walking Dead's like the most watched cable show of all time or something. and honestly, man, that is Beverly Hills 90210 with zombies walking around in the background that they occasionally have to stab in the head in the the mandatory one per act or per episode scene of them being threatened by a group of zombies, which in order to keep that up, the zombies are now stealth attackers. So even though they exist always, I should be actually talking about this with Jeff in the room, but it's okay, guys. Yeah, banal shit, man. It's fucking miserable. It's garbage television, right? It's totally brainless garbage television. Overacted. The writing's terrible. The behavior of the characters is inconsistent and stupid. for the most part. The decisions they make, why they make them, how they react to the results of those decisions. Like it's all so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. What they care about, like the amount of focus. I should be waiting until Jeff was here. Anyway, yeah, Stranger Things is super overrated. Like, it's all right. It's one of the better Netflix shows, but that's not saying much because I actually think Netflix makes like really bad TV. Like, almost all their shit is terrible, like unwatchable for me. But that's because I think maybe as a writer, I can come at it from the writing angle, and maybe people don't care as much about that. Great cinematography, huge budgets. Like the camera work's gorgeous, the lighting's gorgeous. A lot of the acting's pretty fucking good, but the words coming out of their mouths are stupid as fuck because step one, the script is not up to par or something, right? And that's funny how only HBO gets that or something. Like, why is it that HBO consistently puts out the most incredibly written shows and everybody else puts out just that kind of shit? But anyways, people dig The Walking Dead. Lots of housewives everywhere around the world loving The Walking Dead. Walking 90210, of course, man. Half the episode, people talking about their feelings, man. Every episode. How you feeling about that? If you feeling good? Feeling bad? Let's sit down. Hold on, I'm just going to stab this guy in the head. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Anyways, back to you. How's your feelings, though? How's your feeling? Not this post-apocalyptic nightmare and more strategizing. And no, it's how's your mom doing? Westworld wasn't great writing. Well, it might not be Game of Thrones, might not be The Wire. That's for sure. Way fucking better than Stranger Things, and it's not even comparable to a show like The Walking Dead. It's like they're different products. I know you both consume them on the same TV screen, but I wouldn't say it's bad. But Westworld could have been so much better. I think one of the things that disappointed me, but that's because, and we're probably one of the only ones that feel it, because I grew up playing MMOs. Like, I've played so many MMOs in my life, and I'm so familiar with it. The concept was so attractive to me. Like, when it started, I was fucking head over heels in love with the show. 2, 3, 4 episodes in, I was just loving it. But then it just kind of fell off, and I kind of powered through the end and just got it done. Actually, in the end, I think it kind of came back. I remember. But anyways, yeah, dipped in the middle. Not uncommon. I haven't played The Last of Us. I own it. I got it for free with my PlayStation, I think, a long time ago. Never played it, though. Installed it once. I don't know. Might have been to the menu. Might have played it for a minute. I don't know. It's very story driven, right? It's the walk around and story, right? I think it's just in general. Like I don't play almost any games like that. Like it doesn't fall into the genre of game that I play. I don't play The Witcher. I think they're cool, and I have friends that are hardcore gamers that just are absolutely obsessed with these games. But for some reason, they don't appeal to me. It's too slow. Gaming wise, I really prefer killing other people. You know what I mean? Real people, I mean. Like, yeah. It's tough for me to devote a lot of time to a game in which there's no interaction with other players. And not even killing them. I'm joking about that. Just them existing in the world with me, whether it's trading with them, buying and selling with them, talking to them. Like, I'm just kind of addicted to the multiplayer element of gaming. And so games, even fantastic games like Zelda, one of the best single-player games of all time, didn't finish it, didn't even come close to finishing it. Eventually, interest just kind of tapered off, because always in the back of my mind, it's like, it just doesn't really matter, because it's never affecting other people. There's not even, you can always argue, games don't matter. No, nothing matters. Oh, yeah, you're very smart. But when you put all that time and effort into something, but it's just a bunch of memory on your console that is never going to have even affected another person, right, in the world, because you can argue that affecting people is. PoE is that Path of Exile. I tried that a long time ago. I actually kind of dug it, but at the time I was very busy, and it seemed intimidatingly complicated, like opening up the skill trees and shit like that. And it was just. I think that. I think it's important, especially like if I made a game like that, I would have that depth emerge when it's appropriate, right? I think it's a really bad, in general, bad design, game design to present the user with all the options from step one kind of thing, even if they're grayed out, right? Even if okay, let's click the skill tab. Oh yes, 500 skills, cool. Like said, I guess somebody, but never me, right? I would have liked to have seen the 2 choices I can make now and be like, okay, I've got 2 choices. You're already trying to, understand the rest of the entire game. There's already so much to learn. But that's one thing that turned me off Path of Exile is that it's like, you were like Diablo, but even more complicated, and you just like, you see it all like right away, all the eventual shit you're going to have to figure out. And it was like, I don't have time. I'm like, I'm never going to learn 100 fucking different skill things and there's arrows going all of them. I'm like, holy fuck, like, really, dude? Like, I don't need to see this stuff at the back, man. It just I think, in fact, UI in general, like, needs to evolve to the point where, like, present the user with only things that at that moment in their lifespan in your product that they could possibly care about or make a decision on, right? It's not impressive to show me whatever. But anyways, yeah, it's very. I can no longer get into games like that because I don't have enough time, and even if you're like, oh, actually, but none of that matters for a while. It's like, well, why'd you show me? But I like single-player games in which I can get caught competing with myself, like, time trialing F-Zero. But that's a competitive thing. It's like, it's training in a sport or something. But yeah, when it comes to single-player story games, it's impossible. I haven't finished one in years and years and years. Not even the ones I was so excited about. Destiny, I got through the story because everything you get matters in a multiplayer context, right? Every piece of gear might help on a raid with other real people do something. You might face someone in the Crucible. But those kinds of things, I think it's important to have, on some level, that multiplayer context. Or where you're like, sure, I might be spending 40 hours right now by myself grinding this stuff or doing this thing and getting through story, but the result might be some things that are going to influence a future activity which involves other real people, right? Then I'm in. But it just seems like a really massive amount of time to invest into a movie, right? Especially when you remove the gameplay. If you're really into it for just the story, like a Mass Effect apologist, say like, fucking the text, the text. But really, couldn't you have condensed that into like a 90-minute flick then? If it's such a great story, great movie, or a couple of flicks, it was a trilogy like The Matrix. Is it that good? I don't know. But no matter what, it's not the 40 fucking hours you have to suffer through really boring gameplay in order to unlock that story. Just fucking kill the gameplay then. Why is it there? Is the gameplay in Mass Effect that amazing? Is it though, really? Is it though? The actual gameplay, right? It's not though, is it?
People that play games for gameplay.
It's not, but yeah, so
I had other things to deal with upstairs, but
that's okay. That's okay. I heard that, but I'm cool with that. I had some things to deal with.
Just had to, yeah.
I was talking about The Walking Dead, but then I ended up talking about it a bit. Now I gotta remember what. It's the whole gamut, man. There's nothing about the show that's redeeming. I guess some of the performances are alright, but they're over the top. Hey, Bebo Boop! Is that Bebo Boop? Did I finally get there? I don't know.
Yep.
Just the inconsistencies in the characters. Like one episode, they're the strongest human being ever made. The next episode, because every episode there needs to be it's so formulaic. Every episode there is a character that cracks, and it doesn't want to go on. And sometimes the previous episode, they were the one that saved everyone by being fucking iron. The next episode was like, I've killed 18 people, and like incrementing from 17. They're like, 18 was the number for some reason, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I can't kill people. I'm gonna run away and die. So there's so much of that stupidity, but of course it's the amount of screen time devoted to talking about feelings. That's why I call it 90210. Characters constantly, no matter what's happening, like,
I didn't get that far to realize.
Oh man, yeah, stabbing zombies in the head, but it's like, how are you feeling? It's all about interpersonal relationships, and it just focuses on interpersonal relationships.
Let's just fucking survive,
dude. There's a fucking zombie apocalypse, and everyone's talking about the feelings nonstop. It's so funny, but yeah, the inconsistent behavior.
You called me stupid last episode.
And it really hurt my feelings.
It's like, well, this is a zombie trying to eat your fucking brains.
Oh, it's
I don't know if they eat brains in that show.
Yeah, but it's gotten to the point where it's funny. So Stacey and I actually approach it like a comedy, and we're still grinding through it, and we're like sunken costs now. Like we're gonna finish the motherfucker.
What?
And
how
then
many seasons?
There's 7.
What are you on?
6.
What? You watched 6 seasons
Dude,
of The Walking Dead?
You can ask. I don't know how we've done it. It's been one a night for months.
I guess baby steps. You end up like
being we ran out of shows to watch, but it became so funny to us that it's funnier than most Canadian comedies. I'll tell you what, man.
Ran out of shows to watch. Have you seen The Deuce?
No, on Netflix.
The Deuce is on Netflix.
No, I haven't seen The Deuce. I haven't seen it even pop up in my shit. How come it doesn't recommend me the fucking Deuce?
It's David Simon's new show.
That's out on...
Yes!
What?
Dude.
We gotta finish up this Walking Dead. Gonna go home and watch Walking Dead tonight. No, we actually we haven't watched an episode in a while. We might not have been able to do it. I think we eventually hit a breaking point. But wow, it's out, huh?
8.2 on IMDb. James fucking Franco, Maggie Gyllenhaal, like Method Man, like
dude, fucking Benga, come together.
Half the cast of The Wire's in it, dude.
Man, oh my god, dude,
half the cast of The Wire's in it. It's David Simon's new show.
I remember hearing that it was gonna come out like a year ago.
Yeah.
When did it come out? September 10th? No.
It's out for like a long time. Yeah.
See, this is happening because you didn't stream. And
Yeah.
you weren't here to tell me.
Dude, I have so many shows to watch. I got that other one directed and
This isn't on Netflix though. That's HBO.
Is it HBO or is it Hulu?
It says right here on HBO in the thing. Yeah, that's why, man. Yeah, man. I would have.
That's why. Oh yeah, it is HBO. It is HBO. Yeah, you're right.
So Walking Dead did something. Is it? You've seen Misery by Stephen King.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's this movie. Is that the movie where there's a moment where a character freaks out another character about an episode, a scene in a book or a film that they saw in which a car goes off the cliff, and then the next episode, the episode begins, and the car veers and just doesn't quite go off the cliff, and it's like a psycho loses their mind about that fact. Do you know what film that's from? It might not be Misery. I just thought, like, for some reason that movie popped in my head, but I remember that scene.
Where she comes in and she's like, "You had this, blah blah blah." Yeah. I remember that.
And she's like, "You can't have him go off the cliff." And next episode, he went off the cliff. Like the discontinuity.
Yeah.
So The Walking Dead in the first season, it's a strategy. I don't want to say to their credit, but it's a strategy. They try to they try to impress some people that they're like going to be a Sopranos or a Game of Thrones where you never know who's going to die next, right? So in the first season, they've got these, like, say, 12 central characters, and half don't make it to the end of the season. So every episode, you have a bit of, like, oh, I hope the Chinese guy doesn't die.
Yeah,
he's my favorite. I love China.
You got the George R. Martin phenomenon there.
Yeah, right? So I'm like, okay, they're smart enough to do that, because it always blows my mind when they have, like, these serious, high-stakes shows, but no one ever dies. You know what I mean?
Mindhunter is the one I was thinking about. Yeah, it's the one shot by, what's his name, anyway?
Mindhunter. That's on Netflix, I think, right?
Yeah,
what a terrible name. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was some cheesy comic book shit. Mindhunter. Fuck. Okay, I'll check it out. Dropping frames. Anyways, I'll drop the frames. So this hits a point in Walking Dead. So did anyone?
David Fincher. Yeah, Fincher's an amazing filmmaker, obviously.
Okay, I will check it out. Did anybody ever confirm? Because I was actually really curious about that scene, where it's from. Anyway, whatever. There's an episode, and so what happens? So half the cast size in the first season, say, rough estimates. Now the next season, there's always got to be the 12. Like there's always got to be the core like feelings people to talk about the feelings, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a shortage of feelings without putting new people in. So they always find new people, bring them in, talk about the feelings, and then that season would be like 4 more people die. But like all 4 of the 6 new people, and the next season there'll be like 6 new people, and all those ones die, or the remaining 2 from the previous season who you've now kind of considered a core cast now die. But once you get to season 4 or 5, you're like, oh wait a minute, like those like core, they're not dying ever. Yeah. Like the only reason in the first season you thought it was core cast dying because you didn't know who the fucking core cast was yet, kind of like Game of Thrones, right? So it comes to the point where. A character that I liked in the first season because he was like quirky and funny, and then becomes just the worst of the feelings monsters. He's terrible and I want him to die. Glenn, we'll call him. Mm-hmm. And Glenn, with stupidity that is not consistent with his character, like makes an incredibly stupid decision to purposely throw himself in like a death situation. Not even life or death, it's a fucking death situation. Being a fucking idiot, like that's oddly un-Glenn to be so fucking stupid. But they need the moment, they need the stakes. It might be kind of commercial. So he does this really stupid thing, and the episode ends, and I'm not kidding. His kindness was his weakness. Like he couldn't give up on this guy. Like even though the guy tried to kill him twice, he's still a good guy. But no, and then this guy ends up killing him by shooting himself in the head, and his suicided body falling into him. They're on a dumpster and falling into the 100 zombies that were trying to grab them on the dumpster in the big stressful scene. Mm-hmm. And he falls back. It's all slow motion. It's the end of the episode. He falls down, and the zombies just start and you're like, holy fuck, they actually finally killed a first season character. And they're there, and he's looking down, and he's just, and that's it. And they're literally, and I couldn't believe how long they took with it. The zombies are pulling his intestines out, and they're fucking eating it in front of him, and he's just getting eaten, and the episode ends. Black screen, you're like, holy fuck.
And then
The next episode begins.
It was the other person's intestines.
No, the episode begins. He falls off the dumpster. The zombies are there. They're coming. He pulls himself out of the dumpster quickly. He's shooting. He's fighting them off. They never get him or eat him or anything. They don't eat anybody. They just went back in time. The lack of respect for the audience.
Writing by research, man.
It's just
like,
insane.
It was like they looked at the backlash and they're like, we got to reshoot that scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude. Hey, when you're making strictly entertainment that has no artistic merit.
But they couldn't have looked at the backlash because they guarantee they shot them all before they're not like airing shoot, right? You know, they wrote the whole season, they shot the whole season, and they aired them.
Or maybe like, someone was like, "Hey, man, my art is to have people think one thing and then think another thing." But it's like
it was misery. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It'd be one thing but I'm telling you, like, there's a full body shot of him being eaten and his intestine being pulled out. And the next season, the next episode.
So is there a YouTube video calling this out? Like, is there a YouTube video I can look at right now that's like that compares the footage from the episode where he's getting his intestines pulled out, and then it's like, oh, those were intestines from the ground, obviously, and just someone random intestines.
I wonder, maybe like I'm pretty sure they were his. It certainly gave that impression. How's imagine Game of Thrones, right? And an episode ends, and like it's all build, and Tyrion just turns around, and Varys just stabs him through the neck, and Tyrion's like, why? And he just falls dead to the ground. He's like, dead. And Varys like, yep, saving the realm, sir. And he walks off and bang, cut to black. Everyone would be like, imagine how you'd feel watching Varys kill Tyrion. And the next episode starts, and Tyrion turns around and goes, what are you doing? And he's like, whoa, and he blocks the knife. And then they fight and he beats him up.
Well, you know Littlefinger's alive in the next season. You heard about that, right?
No.
Big fan of that? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
There's no way Littlefinger's alive. Well, sorry, spoilers.
Oh my god, the spoiler drop there.
Can you imagine if Littlefinger, it's like,
yeah.
It's like, thanks for fake cutting my throat. Like, that was a great show. We're really going to get married now and really going to rule the Seven Kingdoms.
They played it off like the guy who shot himself fell on top. Apparently, the intestines were from the guy who shot himself in the head, and then he climbs.
But come on, there's only so much. There's only so much you can.
Yeah,
like,
even if you can go back and look at the footage and go,
sense.
"Oh yeah, that's not the impression they gave you." Like it was so disingenuous.
It's like you have no proof. Those weren't his intestines. You can't prove those were his intestines.
Yeah.
You can't prove it. It's like, well, I thought it, and I'm an audience member, and I'm reasonable.
And it was really funny. Later that episode,
somebody. Oh, is this the like breakdown of? Is this it? This is it, right?
Yeah.
Is that the character?
That's him. And they're just eating him as he's sitting there going, ah!
But they're actually eating the other guy.
But they're eating the other guy.
See? Okay.
Oh,
I'm
look.
gonna start it again.
Oh.
No, he's got body armor on. But where's the
as
blood
he's
coming
screaming,
from?
going, ah!
Where's all that blood coming from? It's not the zombie's hand. Now he's dead. So, yeah. Okay. So let's see, slow motion. Oh, no, look, it is his body. Look.
Well, this is the next episode.
Oh, this is the next episode.
Yeah, this is when he pulls himself under and saves himself. Yeah. And,
so
and what's really funny is that later that episode, and then in this episode, he's in like a life or death situation. Stacey's like, oh, he's going to die here. I'm like, Stacey, you don't end the episode killing him again. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you can never kill this guy now, right? He's immortal.
So, what is the science of zombies in this show?
Insane. You can drink their blood, but if they bite you anywhere, even like a nibble, you turn into a zombie. You're dead. First you die of fever, then you turn into a zombie.
So he had no nibbles in that altercation.
Yeah, he had no nibbles in the altercation, but he's drinking their fucking blood. Dude, they go around, they shoot them in the head, and they're stabbing them, and the blood's squirting in their face. It's going in their eyeballs, in their mouth, everywhere. Yeah. They're hitting them in the mouth. Their saliva is going in their face. But something about the teeth. It's something about the teeth.
Well, zombies.
I bet you, like, all the big American housewives that watch the show.
That's time passing. He's running out of water, right?
Yes, and he's waiting for them to disperse.
He can drink his pee.
But luckily, another random character that acted against their own best interest, and
that's the guy that died, and now a zombie.
Yeah, and he's gonna wake up soon and be a zombie too. And he's still somehow sad, even though literally that guy lured him out of the town and tried to shoot him, and did shoot him. In fact, just didn't, not fatally. Anyways, and he's here, and he's like, oh god, but I need a drink. Water bottle flies out of space and lands next to his fucking hand.
Right here?
Yeah. They'll probably have it. I think it's. I mean, I don't remember this. Where's that water bottle? Where's that water bottle?
Now, can I see the Glenn dying from the episode before? Oh, of course, it's
yeah. I got no water. I was in there a day. I'm pretty sure in the chronology though, it's been like a day. So I mean, he's dying of thirst after a day.
It's amazing to see a man act like he's thirsty and be angry. Like you'd be so. It's funny to.
There's a broken water bottle for you. I said heads up, so I broke the water, and then she runs off. He knows her, and then he can't find her. She's like running away, like I don't want to talk to you, running away. Like imagine like how fucking juvenile that whole. Anyways, it's crazy.
Nothing about what I saw makes me want to watch this show. It's so okay.
Coral. Come on, Coral.
Is this The Walking Dead? So
Yes.
he's in The Americans. I like this actor. Oh, they have like people in control. People.
This was season 1, I think, maybe season 2.
Look at all the cool everyman.
Is that a brain?
Oh my god, is that Coral? This is totally episode 1. He's like super teenager now.
Take us in for EIV.
Enhanced internal view.
They're getting into the science of the Walking
Bring
Dead.
us in for an IEV. What do you say?
Yeah.
EIV.
Oh, there's a guy that just died.
There's Glenn. Yeah, there's Glenn.
Like just everything about this, about how he's like, I'm gonna sit down and take this in. I'm gonna think I know what I'm talking about.
It's a person's life, experiences, memories. It's everything.
Just the way the dialogue goes here, it's like,
Yeah. No, the whole movie, like, there's such a gulf between a show like Game of Thrones and this. Like, it's, look at it. It's just,
we're gonna have a moment here to
Yeah.
celebrate life. And about unique, what makes him human. You know?
look.
It makes sense.
I'm gonna
Synapses.
say something that contributes. It's like, no, shut the fuck up. You have no idea what the fuck's going on here because you're not a mega scientist like me.
Everything
Like,
a person says,
What are they looking at?
does, or thinks from the
let's
moment
just
Virtual camera.
Yeah.
to the moment of death. Death. That's what this is.
Hey, the performances are good though. These guys can act.
The main dude, Coral's dad. He's British. He's a British theater actor, I think. To explain, he goes over the top sometimes. Like he like loses his mind in the second season. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like it's
Someone who was
man. It's
bitten and infected.
I'm like Stacey and I would laugh at that. Like man, it's a funny show to watch with your significant other, man.
Oh, it's a social thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
So can I see? Does anybody have a link to where the guy cliffhanger dies?
Cliffhanger?
Like I want to see the car going off the cliff. I want to see the
Oh
guy.
no, it's Misery, and she's telling him about.
No.
Oh, is there actually a-
I want to see the episode of The Walking Dead that precedes the episode that in the opening that we just saw.
Oh, okay, just the last scene.
Yeah. What should I Google search like The Walking Dead? Oh, what's his name dies?
Wow, TWD. Oh wow, you just spoiled that for me. That's great. Fucking the auto result. Oh, spoiler! No, I think it's pretty obvious.
Or maybe I
but,
don't need to see it.
No, it's no Coral.
I don't need to see it. I don't-
Coral.
I'll take your word for it. But yeah,
Coral's a bad actor.
who's Coral?
Carl, but his dad, the British overactor, is sometimes like Coral. Like when he's like yelling for him, it's like, it's man. The first time he did it, Stacey and I laughed. We had to pause. Like it was like a tears and eyes laughing at the performance because it was just so ridiculous.
Oh, this is it. Nicholas' death. Here we go.
And now it's a
He's
meme.
on a
It's a meme
dumpster.
in our Coral's a meme at the Kale.
So this is the guy who's gonna shoot him.
that he just saved again. This guy has killed multiple people now. Like the fact that
The BG,
it's his big,
man, the BG,
his
like-
big character flaw. Oh, this is like a BG's dream. This show, man.
It's like I was told by the director to act.
Keep in mind, they've been struggling to survive for like 15 minutes now, right?
I gotta see this. Yeah. Oh, we go into bullet time. I think I should shoot myself. Like, can't they jump over the fence behind them? I guess maybe, I don't know.
I would just like sit down, man.
Just be like, just pull out your dick.
Yep, pull out your dick, man.
Just pull out your dick and be like, bite the dick first. Just so I know what that feels like, because I never had my dick bitten.
Why did he look like he's about to vote? Now keep in mind, also, this is like season 6 or some shit, like 5 at least. Like,
Like you're not used to zombies?
oh, man, yeah, like it's
No. Look at me.
It's Glenn's fatal character flaw!
Trying to help.
Thank you.
No.
The worst thing in the world where everyone's dying everywhere. He's also standing in front of him. Why did the blast come off sideways? And then this.
But why
Into
did
that
it
group.
collapse?
Yeah. I don't.
Okay, I want to watch this carefully because it's slow motion. We're going to see all the entrails. Okay, so they're grabbing... The blood's coming from where? Okay, I guess it's like... Okay, Devil's Advocate, it's from
Yeah,
the
it's
guy on top of him, and he's so upset.
that he's not trying to save himself yet and get under that dumpster. He's just gonna sit back, and I mean, like, this is a main character. Like, obviously, they. I mean, look
Well,
at
you
look
don't
at
have,
this.
You don't have entrails in your shoulder, so... You know what? I buy it. I buy this being... Well, I don't know.
No, Jeff.
You don't have entrails that high in your body.
No, but he pulled it from low and it was dangling over his head. He didn't say he didn't pull it out of his head. I mean, dude, this
I
like
guess,
unwinnable situation.
I guess maybe I know the end. You know what?
Carl loses his eye scene.
I guess I know the end. You know, but like that's pretty funny that it's like his upsetness, but it plays into his. If you want to get on board the crazy train of The Walking Dead, you'd be like, he's so upset that his friends' entrails are being eaten that he would look like his own entrails are being eaten. He's like, oh, the entrails! Oh, and he's kicking his friend. But my friend is keeping it like.
But wait, no, but they're not friends. They're not friends. And in fact, they haven't known each other very long. And all the other guy did is they went out on a run, and he panicked and got his actual friends killed. Mm-hmm. And then everyone said, you're not allowed to do anything anymore. And he's like, you are not allowed to go on runs anymore. You panic. You don't have the mind for it. Blah, blah. Yeah. Then he got mad. Then he, like, lured Glenn out of the town. And Glenn's like, where'd you go? And then he shot him to kill him. Except the bullet, like, didn't kill him. Then everyone's like, okay, we're going to kill the guy. And Glenn's like, no, save him. Then
so
Glenn's
he's
like,
an enemy.
I'm going to fix him. I'm going to fix him. I'm going to fix his brain from being a panicky, murderous idiot. Yeah, and then they go there.
You abused spouse. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
why is Glenn Olsen an abused spouse, man?
But wouldn't it be amazing if that was you and you were like, the dumpster, and then it's like the zombies are like, and you'd be like, holy fuck, his entrails are shielding me. Your look would be totally different. It'd be like, amazing.
Also, like, you'd be like, the minute you hit the ground and you're being swarmed, like, wouldn't you just, you'd be scrambling. Like, every human being would just, you'd be panic scrambling any way you could. Like, you wouldn't lay there going,
better his entrails than mine. You'd be like,
my face is exactly is what it would look like if they were my entrails, but it isn't consistent because they aren't. Anyway.
That's amazing. That was, oh man, whatever. You can't complain. It's the shit.
But that ends, and then okay, whatever. Just imagine the next episode, man. Yeah.
When and then, what did you think? You'd be like, I have only myself to blame. Why did I watch the next episode? I have only myself to blame. Did I not? Was this?
No, the show was bad.
No. It wasn't like it was The Wire. Then like that, right?
Yeah.
It was that. And then you're like, oh yeah, they did that because they would do that, right? Like, or maybe that's a new level of bad for The Walking Dead. I don't know.
No, it was.
It was.
That is actually a new level. It went beyond, like, because I'd gotten used to the 90210, the feelings, the inconsistencies in the characters. Generally, the acting, the writing, I got used to it all. It became funny. It became so memey, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like a drinking game, but without the drinking. And you're waiting for the next call, right?
So I have this document here that was like things we should respond to later. So I cut and pasted a comment. Here it is. What do you think? Let's read it. Midaq, the point of the show is examining the strain of human relationships, referring to The Walking Dead. In an apocalypse situation, do you want a full action series?
No, I wanted a realistic series. I thought it'd be cool. I'd actually love to see a realistic zombie apocalypse movie, but there's never been one because they're either always an action movie or apparently 90210.
Yeah. So Jarrett's response to this, I can't respond because I haven't seen the show, but like
they're not real people acting in real ways.
The point of the show is examining the strain of human relationships in an apocalypse situation. That would be a show I would watch.
It would.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, if the characters acted like real people, reacting in realistic ways to these things happening.
But
worrying about themselves.
Not all drama has to be 100% realistic, but at least have some root in human behavior.
Yeah,
right?
it needs to be believable.
Like
There's only so much disbelief.
Shakespeare isn't realistic, but it has a root in human behavior, right? It's like, The Wire isn't even 100% real, right? It's like they dramatize things, they make things, but there is some human. You can relate if you have human experience to it, right? It is not just a complete, piece of entertainment for the sake of, getting you to watch the next episode through whatever means necessary, right? But yeah. That's our reply to your comment, Midaq. Hope you're satisfied. Maybe you don't hate us right now. It's just our real thoughts.
Oh, yeah, the Revlo panel's still there, huh? That's right. Revlo went out of business a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And that was the Revlo bucks or whatever you had, or?
Yeah, it was a reward system for people that would watch.
Yeah.
Remember, they get points, but that shit's all integrated now.
Of course, because Twitch is like, well, we can do that.
It's actually like
we don't need to buy.
It's
Revlo.
actually like there's a button on the screen.
Oh, nice.
That you can click and opens up the points you've got, and then you can spend them, redeem them for questions. I'll actually set that up for the next stream. Because then people accumulate points and then they can spend them on things like AMAs. And okay, I saved up enough points to ask my question, then we have to answer it. And you can do silly things, right? Depending on how monkey you want to be. Right? Do you want to show them your socks? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I'll show you my socks for $20.
Wow.
I'm selling out, man. It's so cheap.
Man. Thoughts on the Battlefront EA? Yeah, man, damn. And I've even ranted about it before, but you know about the Battlefront EA thing?
I do. Yeah. And in fact, when Disney bought Star Wars for whatever $1 billion, don't be surprised when they try to make money.
Yeah, there's that. I think it's like when EAs, don't be surprised unless you are 12 years old and this is the first time you've witnessed EAing. But it's not 12-year-olds pre-ordering collector's edition 6 months in advance, paying $120 for the Star Wars franchise. These are 30-somethings who watched Star Wars as a kid, and now they need to buy everything Star Wars related because they think that's a part of their personal identity. Yeah. And EA catches those people. But I think the most amazing thing to me about it, about the whole thing, it had nothing to do with EA's behavior. It's EA. It's literally licking both my balls 13 years ago. This is what they do. It's you've got a psychopath that kills around and killing people, and then you let him out. And he's like, can you believe that psychopath? Can you believe he killed another guy? I can't believe this. Front page ready. He killed another guy. Dude, that's what he does. That's what EA is. It's what they've always been. It's what they do. They will maximize at any cost. No respect for their consumer. Right? It's just whatever it takes. Yeah, I think this is evil. It keeps growing. I think gaming in general right now, the whole loot box phase that we're in, is terrible. Right? Gambling has been infused into every aspect of video gaming for children.
Because
Terran's opening loot boxes and being mad he didn't get a purple skin in Overwatch or something, And I'm like, I want to uninstall Overwatch immediately when I see him getting mad at the contents of a gambling box. A fucking 7-year-old, man. I think all that shit's super fucking evil. But what just blows my mind is people pre-ordered a fucking EA game because it had Star Wars on it. Like, how fucking stupid are you? I'm so much more mad at the consumers in this case than I am at EA. I'm not mad at EA at all. They moved forward. They implemented a profitable business practice because that's what they are. They are a naturally, mandatorily psychopathic, publicly traded corporate enterprise doing what they thought would make them the most money. And they did that. Yeah. And that's what you should expect of them.
As a consumer, it's your responsibility to assume they're going to do their worst that is legally allowed. Right? Yes. It's like, imagine you pre-order and you pre-buy, and they give you the worst product that is legally allowed. That's your expectations. So as long as you pre-order with that set of expectations, you're fine and you're reasonable. If you pre-order and you get something you're not happy with, well then, you can't complain. You learn something about pre-order. You gained a valuable lesson about pre-ordering. You realize that you should probably wait until people start playing it. People start,
especially when you get a couple loot boxes 3 days early access. Like the pre-order bonuses are so poor compared to giving them all your money,
which is great because you have less of a you can't say you can't enjoy the product without pre-ordering. You can't say that, right? So why not wait 2 weeks to see what people say about the thing that you're going to buy, and then but whatever. Maybe people are just like going to complain and have no focus on their own personal responsibility, or maybe they even might realize their own personal responsibility. Yeah, whatever. But I'm going to complain vocally anyway and pretend that I don't realize my own personal responsibility in pre-ordering and whatever. So maybe that's the way things are. Maybe people are they're vocally, because you can't believe anything that people write on the internet, right? Because when they're anonymous, so. They're like, yeah, it sucks. Oh, you ripped me off. You ripped me off. You ripped me off. This is all bullshit. But it's like, really, they're like, if you were to interview them in person on camera, they'd be like, yeah, I pre-ordered and this is what I got and I got it. And I thought 5 seconds about it and then I wrote something in 10 seconds and then I went about my life.
The part of it that drives me insane is that guy that just wrote the shit on Reddit. The big gamer who's complaining on the internet. He's so mad about his pre-order of Battlefront. He's going to pre-order Battlefront 2. Like, he is going to. In fact, as soon as they announce it at E3 and show a trailer, he's going to be on Twitter going, fucking dumping my pants, look at this fucking... And he's going to pre-order it. That's, like, honestly, the EA thing, I'm not mad at EA at all. I'm mad at gamers. I think it's embarrassingly stupid behavior of people, and that's my take on the Battlefront EA debacle. Is fuck people that pre-order EA games. You're the problem. You're 100% the problem, not EA. EA is doing as expected, and if you don't expect that, you either don't know EA or you're not very bright. You are the problem if you pre-ordered it, man, and you have only yourself to blame. And that's it. Don't buy the fucking game. That's your power. That is your consumer power. The only power you have as a consumer is, I have money. Do I spend or not spend on this? That's how you show your power, man. Not spend.
Someone said...
I have not bought an EA game in 12 fucking years, right? How long has it been? Yeah. I put my money, lack of where my mouth is. Like, that's just what you do. When I hit that point, around the time, that's it. Like, I just never bought another EA game. Since I implemented my policy of never giving EA another dollar, they've flown me out to their studio. I've beta tested their games. I've given creative input on RTS. Like, they've been so kind to me. I know I have friends that work there. I consider them friends. I like them so much, and I think they like me too. I would still never support the company they work for. I think they're great people that I know there. I do not give that company a fucking dollar ever. I never will, man, to the day I die. And anyone who buys their products, you're the fucking problem. Stop. That's it. That's how I feel about that. Anyways.
Spore was an EA game. I think I bought Spore. I remember playing Spore. I think I did buy Spore. It's funny. I don't recall if I bought Spore or not.
I did not buy Spore. I don't think you at least installed the character creator. You might be mistaken after buying the game because they released it early, like the create your character.
Maybe.
But that ended up being like the best part of the whole game, I think, right? Wasn't it or something? Like what a
yeah. But like,
dude, people still buy Call of Duties. Like fucking die. Like, anyway.
Someone said that's like George Carlin's argument of the voter having no right to complain law. I don't think, does George Carlin have an argument about
No, you can still complain if you're a voter. It's just you have the least complain political system out there that I know that exists.
Wait,
anyway.
the guy who votes has no right to complain?
But yeah, anyway, it's different from voting.
Or
It's
the people who doesn't vote?
you have. Yeah.
By the way, I do remember signing your car. It got pushed off. There's a guy in the chat. You signed my car is literally his Twitch name. I do remember that. It was a very fine car, right? It was a BMW, wasn't it? Like a really nice one that I actually almost felt guilty, but it was actually the silver ended up looking pretty fucking awesome.
But yeah, I think George Carlin said something about if you don't vote, you have no right to complain because you didn't participate. But yeah, anyway, that's totally different. That's you're mixing a lot of concepts there, and in fact, you have opted in to participate in the game and buy a product. Totally different from voting, because you have to live in the society no matter what you do. It's like a game that you have to play no matter what, which is not the case. So. But yeah, you bought a product. If you don't like the product, well, whose fault is it? Yours or the person that made the product that you gave money to voluntarily, preemptively? Who knows? You think about it.
Yeah. And yeah, the voting. If you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. Is ridiculous because imagine you're presented with Satan and Satan's son, and you're like, I don't want to vote for either of those people. Which may or may not be relevant, actually, to recent American politics. But I think you have a protest of not voting because you don't want to vote for the only two candidates offered to you because your system is so broken. I don't think that revokes your right to complain about a broken system because you decided not to throw away a vote to one of two parties that it doesn't matter anyway. Like it's no, man. You can complain about a broken system, man. You don't have to participate to complain. That's a strange idea, I think.
Yeah.
The one I hear all the time. It's a very Facebook idea,
Yeah. Well, you didn't vote, don't complain.
Or it's like, well, you voted for him, don't complain. It's like, well, his campaign promises were exactly opposite of what he's doing now, so I guess you can blame me for being swindled, but I only had two options. Which is what I'd love to hear from a lot of Trump supporters.
I only 51.
It's just to be like, okay, well, yeah.
Dude, CNN had a great panel of Trump supporters. They graded him with A, B, C, D, F, and they gave the reasons why. It was amazing. You should watch this. It's amazing. It's really.
That's fake
amazing.
news, though. I don't watch fake news, buddy.
Oh, it's
fake news.
It is amazing. Like it is really amazing, man. The believers and there's the whole Russia investigations happening now, and there's all these. So there was a big Twitter feed of some journalists saying, "Oh my God,
Canada has a worse system. Our system, I mean, you can argue better or worse. I don't really think there's necessarily better or worse in a lot of these cases. It might be a matter of opinion, right? There's a lot of communists who might, but our system produced Justin Trudeau as our leader. Your system produced Donald Trump. I think that says something about our system not being completely broken, is that we have an intelligent, young, empathetic man who is like destroying in a positive way. I mean, he's killing it for Canada internationally. Our brand, our cultural brand, is like has been exploding. World leaders love him. People love him. There's like whole American groups of bring Justin Trudeau. Like our system produced that, right? I mean, the worst thing it's ever produced is probably Stephen Harper, and he's left of Hillary. You know what I mean? And he's really not the demon. It's I think it works kind of okay actually. Our system, we've got pretty good lives here. Man.
So there's a joke that only Canadians will get. Mm-hmm. Now, then the joke goes like this. So you might not think it's funny, but if you're a Canadian, you'll think it's hilarious. And so here's the joke. Okay. So a Canadian politician starts talking about moving towards an American-style healthcare system.
Did you break?
Well, that's the joke.
Oh, sorry. Say it again because, okay. I felt like because I saw you look at something and I'm like, his brain just fell right off. And I was trying to look at what you found that made your brain fall off. Okay, sorry. I'm 100% of my attention. What's the joke?
So a Canadian politician starts talking about moving towards an American-style healthcare system.
I'm stupid.
What's it?
I don't get the joke. Is it that he never finishes because
Well,
it's
So-
it's a joke that it would never happen?
even the most right-wing Canadian, it's
It's okay, yeah, because there's always in Canada, in the U.S., like, we should move to this or we should move
Like,
to that, but no one in
just-
Canada's like, we
just-
should move away from this awesome
just-
shit we got. Okay, I get it. I
just
get it.
imagine what would happen. What do you think would happen? Honest question, no joke. What would happen if a Canadian politician started talking about moving towards the American-style healthcare system?
There would be a few of our alt-right nutters, the guys that go to those, like, free speech rallies downtown Toronto. They would love it, right? But that would be the end of his political career for any of the major parties.
It would end your political career.
Yeah, that would
It
be
would
that.
end you in Canada. It's like nobody in Canada thinks for a fucking second
We don't even...
that it's better in the South. Nobody's like, you know what?
I know some of my dad, his older friends, they'll talk about, like, yeah, had cancer. So you're in Canada and they had a 3-month waiting list. Went down to Mayo Clinic, dropped $120K, boom, cured in 2 weeks. And now and that was like a slight against the Canadian healthcare system. I'm like, but you went to the Mayo Clinic and you paid the same amount you would have if you were an American and you got cured. You weren't denied access to the Mayo Clinic. You have the best, like, you can always use the private. You're not restricted from the private systems in the world that exist. Many of the greatest health facilities are in the United States of America. You can still go use those motherfuckers. But you also have the free 3-month option, right? That's that most people take, because if it's not pressing, if it's not like, well, you're going to die in 3 months, in which case they would actually do it immediately. Anyways, yeah. So I have heard people try to make those complaints. Always really old right-wingers will try to make some kind of complaint, but not
also-
realizing that...
But also people who, even the people who would say, I would prefer, and in fact, let me say this: when King Hussein of Jordan in 1990 whatever got cancer, he went to the Mayo Clinic in Boston. So the King of Jordan sought cancer treatment in Boston, USA, right? The American healthcare system. Now, the point is that for 99.9% of the population, the Canadian system is better. Demonstrably better, irrefutably better. But if you are very rich, you can get better health care. In Canada, but not in every case, right? There's that one healthcare professional that's like, well, the best people in the world are at Mount Sinai in Toronto that do this particular procedure. So if you had this procedure, you would, even if you're King Hussein of Jordan, you go to Toronto in Canada to do this procedure, right? It's dependent on exactly the kind of care you need and how much you value having better food or whatever, but in a democratic society. So if you factor in the fact that you live with other people, that you do this in a society, you live with other people, and the people down the street, people down the block, people in the next town, there are other people in your society. If you live in a society where there's other people and they're not as multimillionaire as you happen to be, maybe you would also want them for the sake of, even selfishly, even like, I don't want someone robbing me because they need a kidney, right? Or whatever, or they're, even if you don't want to walk by someone who's crying and you want to have somebody who's not crying, it's like, even if you want to live in a society, maybe it's like you want to pay less than your society totally pays for healthcare and not enrich the insurance companies and have a single-payer healthcare system. Like, it's... Anyway,
yeah, I mean, Flannel Nose makes the classic argument I hear a lot, right, from people that are middle class or upper middle class or beyond. My financial situation, I'd rather not pay such high taxes, which, by the way, they're not that high. And I'd rather my company offer me health benefits. But again, that's a very me Western attitude of like,
But you
the whole village child thing. But we're not raising children here. You're living around people. You live in a society. You're sharing the roads, sidewalks, homes. They're your neighbors. They're everyone around you.
And even from me perspective, that is a me thing, right? It's like me wants to live with people with a certain level of health care.
Yeah, but that's not as obvious, right? Because usually you're thinking about my money, my health, my whatever.
Yeah. But if you haven't lived with me's with with a focus on me, with everybody having healthcare, you don't realize how amazing it is when you walk down the street and everybody has healthcare, and everybody's if they get sick, they're taken care of, and they know it. And they treat you that way.
Maybe that's why we're so nice. I don't know.
Maybe that's why we're
that's why we're less afraid, less stressed out, less murderous. Maybe that's why people like us. Maybe they come here and like, wow, Canadians are nice. I think that on some weird level, that has a lot to do with just being born in a society that you never once thought about not being taken care of. It never crossed your fucking mind. Actually, I am terrified. Like every time I go to the U.S., I have to buy insurance, private insurance package when I go there.
And
I couldn't imagine. It freaks me out. I couldn't imagine living in a place where an accident could happen that might not even be my fault, and I'm out $50,000 that I don't have, and now I'm broke like forever. Like, because I broke my leg. Like, the idea that can happen is so foreign and so terrifying to someone who their whole life is just never worried about my health, right? It's
like, do you want the $300 extra a year?
A year? Oh, that's $300, yeah.
Like, it really, like, and when people say taxes are high in Canada, it's not the, like, income tax. It's things like, well, your mortgage... The interest on your mortgage is not tax deductible in Canada.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest for
and you probably didn't even know that the interest on your mortgage in the USA is tax deductible. You might not even know that. You might not even have a mortgage. You might not be even aware of the biggest tax break that makes the biggest tax difference between Canada and US. And our booze is expensive, right? The Canadian Club we buy and the LCBO is more expensive than what you buy.
It's a lot of luxury taxes, which I totally agree with.
At Vaughn's, right?
Yeah.
So it's a luxury tax. It's not like it's not like the people who aren't working are getting away with so much. It's not the loafers in society are sucking our taxes. It's not. In fact, a lot of the loafers in society are paying huge taxes in the booze they buy to get drunk because they have problems. It's like, but anyway. We've been through this a million times, and everyone thinks we're pinkos, and
yeah, we're big pinko commies.
But
cuck snowflakes, all that kind of stuff.
It's just. I've talked about this before about just.
See, I'm pretty sure they had this exact conversation. I think we have. That's why we should steer quickly away.
Yeah.
Because
we're done. I'm done. Cigarettes have 80% tax. Yeah, they do. They're
that's
incredible.
Amazing. They should be 99% tax. I have $50 a pack, man. This price people. Now, black market. That's a very stupid attitude. Black market concerns.
Yeah.
But Taryn can't believe that cigarettes are legal. I was trying to explain to a 7-year-old. He can't believe they're legal. Mm-hmm. And he's like, so they kill you. I'm like, yes. They don't do anything positive for you. No. Why are they sold then? Why are they sold?
Freedom.
He can't even believe people are buying them, right? That alone blows his mind. But he's like, why don't we just stop selling them then? I'm like, well, then people will still buy them, but illegally. And then and then we're giving money to criminals and stuff. Well, where are the criminals getting them? Well, someone's making them. And he's stopping them from making them, right? Because in his world, like, there's some power. They can be like, stop. And then there's no more cigarettes in the world. But man, cigarettes are dying quickly. Like, Taryn's generation are not smokers. The kids, if you look at the teen smoking rates, they've been plummeting for the last a couple of decades. And man, it blows Terrence's mind. He calls it cigaretting. It's actually pretty funny. It's like, oh wow, yeah, no one's dad was cigaretting after the bowling. Did you know he cigarettes?
Let's. At the end of the day, it's my money. This is Max 3 Defender that I work for. It's my money I work for. No one is helping me or any fictitious privilege. That's why Bernie never did it for me. Too much reaching in my pocket and sharing the wealth. Now, this is the interesting thing.
No one's helped you, huh? In your life, you don't see a single ladder. I'm not saying why. I just mean
no. So here's the thing. It's my money. This is the thing I don't think people get. It's my money that I work for. Mm-hmm. My money. Well, who gave it to you? Well, someone else. Well, they gave it to you. Then it's your money. But the giving it to you process involves other people, involves the government, involves society, involves the road you drove on to get to work,
to make
involves
that money.
involves like the aspect, the person who built your car that you drove to get there that might have a minimum wage, right? The person who fed you the breakfast that it's like you are part of a holistic system that is like, that's a bad word, holistic. Right-wing people hate that, but it's like there's a lot of things going on here. Changing one thing changes a lot of things. So don't think you're on an island. It's like this statement to me makes me think this person was parachuted into a desert island and started gathering coconuts and breaking them open and cooked a fire with their shoelaces and friction. And, it's like, are you really by yourself? Are you really alone making your own money? It's like, parachute into a desert island, make yourself a meal. That's your own meal.
Yeah, I'll
right?
come by and
It's
ask somebody to tell me to fuck off because
right?
you have to kill the shit and you cook it. I'm like, yeah, fucking A, man.
Yeah. It's like, don't use a gun someone made for you or invented gunpowder for you because you didn't invent gun. It's like, this is the idea that is like, it's all part of a system that works together. And
Ryder Artaji just announced she's expecting.
really,
Where did she just announce this? Like on Twitter
Where?
or something? Sort of derail that. Really? She didn't tell me first?
so, but he had another good comment about, hey, why is the Canadian dollar so weak? It's like, well,
Is it?
Yeah, exactly. Is it?
I've because when you live
I
in a
haven't
country,
noticed any effects.
I'm not a big international. I don't have a lot of I'm not a currency trader. I don't work in finance, so I know. But I know that the things at the store cost the exact same amount they did last year and the year before, and our salaries are the same. And actually, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's historically roughly it comes in and around this.
Yeah, it has to do with a lot of international commerce and macroeconomics.
Doesn't really affect you.
But
Did you know the American dollar was super shitty for a while? Did it affect you? Were you waking up going, man, my dollar's not going as far today? Wait, the burger and gas is the same amount of money as it was yesterday, and I'm making the same salary. Oh, wait,
I know,
it doesn't fuck.
It's a funny comment because, when the dollar was at parity, right? When the Canadian dollar was worth more than the American dollar,
Yeah.
nothing changed in our society, and it was just
Other than a
imports and
couple
exports.
news articles bragging, look at Canada, our dollar passed it, but nothing changed. Like it's
Yeah.
so. And then we dropped 60%, and nothing changed.
It's like, hey, why is the Canadian dollar so weak? Well, we get a lot of tourism. That's great. So there's yes, it is. Canadian dollar is 0.79. Well, yeah, it's like the other interesting thing is that you call it a dollar, and then it's like, oh, Mexican peso is worth so little, therefore Mexico's poor. It's like, well, a peso isn't a dollar, and a Canadian dollar isn't a U.S. dollar. It's like, these are like the euro. It's like, well, why the American dollar so weak against the euro, right? Let's look that up. It's like, oh, you must be doing worse than all of Europe. It's like, no. This is things are priced differently, and yeah. Anyway, I keep all my money in Bitcoins, so I'm doing real good.
Oh yeah, are you a Bitcoin owner?
No, I wish I were. I wish I was. In fact,
How far can we go back here? I want to go 10 years. Can we do 10 years? So that's the Canadian dollar here. To the that's going back. So max, how far back max can we go here? Okay, so now if you were to draw a best fit line across that graph that goes back to 1970, where would you draw that best fit, Jeff? Would it be somewhere around exactly where the dollar is right now? Would it? Because it looks to me almost like over 40 fucking years, it's still exactly the same on the best fit line. This is versus the U.S. dollar. But anyways, I mean, I was just curious to know because it's a lot of these, right? But anyways, and all through that, we never felt the shit, man. I'm not. Oh, well, seeing that.
What?
PlayStation, thank you for your purchase. Fortnite Battle Royale, $0. Okay, Taryn's playing Fortnite, I guess. That's scary, man. I'm always worried about that because PlayStation likes to does whatever it can to keep your information in there to make it like one-click purchase. I'm like, yeah, but I share this with a 7-year-old. And yeah.
Did you see Jack Black's? Did you see that?
Oh, there he is. Okay. He was
Jack Black talking about his son.
No.
Let's watch this video here.
Yeah, the Bitcoin thing, that kind of stuff breaks my heart. I mean, I love when people work hard for their money, build something great that benefits society and makes themselves rich. But people that made what might even have been an irrational decision 10 years ago to drop in a bit of money into Bitcoin, that are now millionaires, never have to work again. It's like, ooh, like, to me that feels like a fundamentally broken part of our system. But
Well, no,
maybe I'm just jealous I didn't get free money.
It's gambling. It's not free money. It's gambling. Like, you could have bought Bitcoins and had nothing to show. You know, you could have. In fact, yeah, I was.
No, but I'm talking about people like they dropped $100 and now have $1 million, right? It's
great.
There's not too many bets that you can take. I mean, the odds of losing all 100 were
yeah. There's a
what, did
100
Ethereum crash?
No, there's 100 cryptocurrencies now.
Yeah.
Right. And you could pick one, drop $100, and it's very volatile. And there's no controls. You can't stop trading of Bitcoins. So it could drop to $1 tomorrow. It literally could drop to $1 tomorrow. So you never know. And
yeah, but I mean, I couldn't imagine what would cause it to drop so significantly. I wouldn't be surprised to see it fall back to 2,000, 1,000. You know, like a really significant drop. But the people that were buying it at $1,
we're very lucky. Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's and bought in at very low risk.
In fact, I posted on Facebook about Bitcoin 4 years ago when it was $1, and I was like, hey, any like. I posted I tagged Jeff Jansen and another economist I knew. I was like, what do you think about Bitcoin? Like, is this a currency or what is this? And Jeff Jansen said, oh, it seems like a poorly designed currency. Usually currencies have interest rate, and because part of having money is you want to get rid of it, you want to spend it, and that's good for a currency because that's why you have inflation. Inflation is so you want to spend the money. Because hanging on to money is bad for the economy, and people, if you're just going to hang on to the money, if inflation is negative, that's a bad thing, right? So he concluded that Bitcoin was a poorly designed currency, and I was like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm not going to invest.
Wish I didn't ask you.
I know, and I've been looking for this Facebook post. I wanted to post this and be like, hey everybody, if we had invested, we'd be multimillionaires right now.
Yeah.
If we put $100,000 or $1,000 into Bitcoin at that time, we'd have 3 million, right? But here's a story on Jack Black.
It just feels right. Can we zoom in? If you zoom in, you can't even tell that you're even sitting that way.
You gotta get pretty tight.
You're
to not do that.
getting even tighter.
Because my
Oh,
phone
that's
is
some bullshit. Some bullshit.
Talk about.
Some bullshit.
You have. We both have children.
We'd have
Steer
kids
the
now.
conversation
We're
to the
grown-up adults that wear
prerequisite.
suits and have children and the whole thing.
And what's the 6-year-old into? Is he?
My sister Tommy, right now his thing is martial arts.
Ooh.
He really loves Young Ninjas is the name of the class. The only thing is, it seems like all they teach him is how to injure me.
Yeah.
And now, he literally jumps out and surprises me.
More
I have
bullshit,
to be
sorry.
on guard at all times. He's like, Kato,
Kato
you
from
can't use your powers of martial arts. Because just imagine that dude coming at you and attacking your testicles.
Right there. That is a.
Okay,
what's
sorry.
Sammy into now?
Here
Sammy's
it is,
super
here it is.
into apps.
Oh yeah.
And I know, I can feel everyone's judging me right now because, yeah, I'm a bad father. He plays a lot of iPad, but that's
I don't think
only
you're the
partially
only-
true. I make up for it in other ways. But he loves this one game he just discovered. And the thing is, they get you because it's like the app is for free. But then I'm just checking my emails one day, and there's 30 emails of like receipts for this app. And it's in-app purchases where they get you. And it's this dumb game where you got like monsters and stuff, and every monster you got to buy it, and you need to buy like diamonds and jewels, and it costs 99 cents for a diamond. But of course, my boy, he doesn't know. He's just like, I'm gonna get the big sack of diamonds. It's $100 a throw. $100. This game is designed for children. It's marketed to children, and then there's a $100 thing in app. And there's 30, okay, do the math. There's like 30 receipts on my computer, so it's like, it's well over
3,000,
It's
yeah.
like 3,000 mother-loving dollars. And I have a sit down, I take Sammy, I sit him down, I say,
Turn off
"Son, you
in-app
gotta understand
purchases
that money
in
is
your
real.
fucking iPad.
And even though Daddy makes money in movies, if you spend $3,000 a day on apps, we were not going to live here anymore. And I took off the, in-app purchases on the iPad, and I emailed
which you should have done
the
before you
people,
gave
and
him
I
the
said,
iPad.
this is not responsible. And I think
But
they're
I guess-
gonna
I
give
guess
me
you
a
might not know
refund
that that's
thanks
the
to
thing,
being
right?
on the show and telling them to give me a refund.
They do refund, by the way. Usually most
yeah.
of the companies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, it's like it's surprising that he didn't know about that horror story being possible, and he didn't,
Yeah.
or maybe he did, maybe he didn't turn off. But like,
I'm so
the first
paranoid.
thing
I
you do is
occasionally
turn
go
off-
back and recheck once a year to make sure they're still off for Taryn.
because Taryn might have navigated randomly to in-app.
Well,
in-app
and now that
purchases.
he can read,
yeah.
so it's passworded though. Right.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, if he ever sees the password,
Mm.
but he would never do that. Unfortunately, he's also at the age where he's smart enough to realize, it's real money.
I would consider myself going to an in-app purchase and be like, diamond, a sack of diamonds, and be like, my son, he's 4. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Give me my $3,000.
Oh, they take all the diamonds back too.
But then but then you'd be so sorry. You'd be like, oh, I'm lying for my stupid diamond bullshit in an app in the game. You'd be like,
and then I lost my stupid diamonds.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
so they take the thing back.
Oh, they
to
do,
you.
yeah, because it happens. I've seen people in Clash talk about how their son went and did like, hey, check out my negative gem balance. Thanks to, it's like, oh, because they like
Really?
got some and then spent some and then they took it all back. But then there was anyway, like one dude had negative so much that it would take him a lot of time or money to get.
So he
back
just made a new account.
get back to the positives. Yeah, it's
He went bankrupt.
yeah, people still do that. Well, because it is shocking, man. Even to a game, I know they're like, he's not a gamer. Gamer parents don't know, but even as someone who's played games my whole life, like I can't believe the cost of insignificant in-app purchases in mobile games. I can't believe what whales spend in mobile games. It's fucking shocking, man.
Yeah.
How people drop money on mobile games and then complain about like dropping $5 on a movie, right? You know what I mean? Like as they drink a $5 beer that they don't fucking need at the store, they want to pirate my movie, and it's oh man, and the in-app, oh god damn it, man, it's just. It blows my mind, man. The cost of the shit. Like the one chest in Clash Royale, it's like $50 Canadian for a super magical chest off the store. If you just want to buy something, $50. That shit would improve my collection by like point something percent. Certainly less than 1%. Like I would have some. They released like a new legendary card. Well, these top players, they need level 5 right away to keep competing on the ladder of meaningless. And one guy made a YouTube video of his thing. He's a Mega Knight came out. He's like, need a max Mega Knight. It's okay to made a video. It was a little over 4,500 US. He just ching. Okay, got one. Yeah, okay, maxed it. It was like 4,500 US. He's watched him spend $5,000 to have that one card in his collection maxed out so that he can keep. Doesn't even know if it's good yet. He just knows to keep his max. And there are hundreds or thousands of these guys now that do this.
So they make a new character in the card deck, and
yeah. And they release a new card. Like now it's about once every 2 months. Like they're pretty slow on the releases now, but right away on day one they'll be replaced people with the max card, and they drop just hundreds, thousands. Like the legendaries cost the most, but like oh man,
it makes it seem like the $50 of $1987 that we used to spend on a new Nintendo game is insignificant. It was a whole new game.
dude. People still complain about $60 box copies, but then. We live in this world where people are, and it's what blows my mind is there's so many people that drop that kind of money. I just can't believe how many people I play. Even I'm pretty high up in the ladder now in Clash, so I meet a lot of max decks and guys with max cards.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd have to play for like 7 more years to naturally get their cards. And
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
The time scales are crazy.
it's crazy. Like they're thousands of dollars in to get those cards, but they're still down with me on the ladder. They're terrible. You know what I mean? Like can't buy skill, right?
You can buy cards. Yeah.
You can buy cards, but that's
Pretty
crazy.
sure the only movie I've bought in the last 10 years was the PP movie says Mystic Man 89. Thank you for 100% of your movie expenditure money, man. That is epic.
Thank
The
you,
fact
man.
that we have one, like it's, I know it's like probably like, whatever we sell it for now, $8.99 or whatever it is.
I'm not
I
sure
don't know
what it's now.
what is it on Vimeo now?
God, I don't even
10
know.
$10?
Yeah, it's over $10, I think.
Yeah, so anyway, thank you for that. But the fact that it's 100% of your movie purchases means something.
even more, man.
Means even more
Yeah,
than
that
the,
actually means a lot.
than the $10 that
Yeah.
Jared and I are going to split and buy
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't
with.
buy a lot of movies either, but I Netflix and I pay for my Netflix subscription, and
Yep.
and Ursula kindly pays for TMN, and I get to
Yeah.
watch Game of Thrones when it goes live,
Nice.
right? Which is amazing actually. TMN Go to have that in Canada and just like because there's no more like waiting for the torrent to go up. No, man.
That's great. Finally, somewhere in Canada, you
Yeah,
have.
boom, watching it right away, man. Going
Yeah,
back,
man.
watching all the Curb Your Enthusiasm. They have all HBO shows ever, every episode on demand right now. You can go watch it on TMN Go.
So you can watch The Deuce.
Yeah, right when I get home.
Oh.
Super HD.
It-
We like never use this shit, so we literally use it once a year for 7 to 10 weeks. And
Yeah.
you can imagine what 7, and then I forget it exists.
Yeah.
So I actually was like gonna go and like find a torrent for Curb Your Enthusiasm because like anything that's not on Netflix, I don't have cable.
Yeah.
And the problem with TMN, man, is you actually have to have a cable package and have the channel and shit. And in order to get like you're looking at $150 a month to be able to access that shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, good friends, man. I got tennistv.com. Oh, that shit's so good. Oh, you got Tennis TV, Jeff?
I love Tennis TV.
Dude, Tennis TV is on
Other
in my
people,
house.
that other people can watch.
This is like the worst 7 weeks of the year, man. We're going through right now, but it's kind of tennis off season. But Tennis TV is so good. There's always an ATP, that's the Association of Tennis Professionals. ATP is the pro tennis. There's always an event going on, and they're usually in Europe or further east, which means that they're either beginning or ongoing at 6, 7, 8 in the morning. So when you wake up, getting kids ready for school, or kid ready for school, and the other kids just screaming, throwing things, and I make coffee and I put tennis on in the background. It's just there, man. I don't care. There's no cost there. It's like, oh, who's playing? Tournaments I didn't even know existed a few years ago because they're the ATP 500 events. Nobody cares, but it's cool. And like, oh shit, I get some nice play in the background. It's there. Kian likes to watch it. I'm slowly brainwashing Kian into like tennis. Best thing ever. Gonna have it on.
Nice.
Dab or edible dab, man. You're young. Fucking dab. Do you guys smoke weed or dab or a lot of weed? There's a lot of weed references, but we weren't big potheads. I mean, we're Canadian, so I mean, I think any Canadian our age is like, no, never tried it. Is either a liar or a Mormon or something. But no, like we weren't big potheads when we put those references, and we just did it because it's funny. And in fact,
You lived at 420.
I was gonna say the biggest reference everyone talks about is like 420, which obviously the close up, we knew what 420. I'm not an idiot, obviously, but that was where I lived. Like that was my room. I mean, we didn't set deck that shit. That's just how I was. That was my room. My super minimalist. Like all I wanted in life was my computer. That's all I cared about was playing generals. And I lived at 420 Brunswick, and that was it. So we just shot the the dab thing. I didn't. Yeah, because it got something to do with weed, right? I don't know.
Oh, here's the stream topic. Randomly, I made this note. You know how in Toronto it's the law
Yes.
to put the calories on
I
the menu?
love it, man.
I freaking love it.
It's
I
the best thing that has happened
It
in
is
so long. Holy
the
shit.
best thing for me and for society.
Oh, for society.
So, I don't know if you know this, but it's the law in, I think, Toronto and in many other cities
all
in
of
Canada.
Ontario. It's in Ontario. It's a provincial thing.
You have to put the calories of the food you're selling on the menu, which is
If you have 3 or more locations. You have to be a franchise. Just because they don't want to screw the mom and pops with having to get the expensive tests for the food. If you've got 4 restaurants, you're okay to pay a couple G's to get the test done to get your calorie counts. But
So it is incredible to see what calorie dude,
and it's massively
protein-
affected my purchasing
protein.
habits.
So
Yeah.
it is even me, even being like a calorie conscious individual beforehand. So 2,000 calories is what you should ingest in a day as an adult.
Adult male.
Yeah.
If you're like a 5'2" female, probably like 1,400.
Yeah.
You know,
So
like it's way less than people think, man.
So 2,000 calories is what you should ingest in a day. A can of Coke is 120. So you are having, 5-6% of your calories of a day drinking a can of Coke. If that's news to you, great, awesome, amazing. It's like, but like, you go into the poutine restaurant here in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. One of the ones downtown.
1,400 calories for this poutine with it, which is gravy, cheese curds, French fries. 1,400 calories. You have almost 75% of your calories as an adult male in a single container, and it's like, and you might not know that that's as opposed to your 250 calorie whatever, breakfast sandwich from Starbucks, right? Or so the breakfast sandwich, by the way, at Starbucks, they range from 250 to 500. So this is a quarter of what I should eat in a day as an adult male, right? So here's what I wanted to tell Jarrett. Mm-hmm. At the Keg, the menu currently reads, when you order a filet mignon steak at the Keg, the steak itself is 605 calories.
Which is great. That's a lot of filling for 600 calories, man.
And it's delicious. So the steak is 600 calories. The béarnaise sauce served with the steak is 450 calories.
I never eat that shit anyway, man. Fucking, I knew
dude,
there's a reason.
You knew it. You knew
Want
it.
some thick, creamy ass shit?
So it was just incredible to me that the sauces kill you. The mayo kills you, dude. The calories in the mayo.
Mayonnaise is mental, man.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to know that you're. Anyway, if you happen to live in a place that lists the calories on a menu, it's incredibly informative, and it will probably forever change your eating habits for the better. So,
it changed mine. What I thought was really sad, actually, more than funny too, because it was an Ontario Liberal. We had a Liberal Party we have here. They're called the Liberal Party, and they are the provincial government of Ontario. The same way you have state dudes and federal dudes in the States, and we have provincial dudes and federal dudes, and the dudes and dudettes Ontario, they put this in, and then they announced that they were doing it on Facebook, because that's not where I should say, they only announced on Facebook. No, I mean, in addition to everywhere else, they have a Facebook page, who doesn't, and they put it up there. You should go back and read the comments, man. It's pretty gold. There's a lot of anger.
Yeah,
a lot. It's almost entirely people that are freaking out, and there's so much anti-science. There's so much, I
don't believe in calories.
Yes. Yeah.
I believe my own choice is better in making me fat or thin.
My body knows. I just listen to my body.
Yeah. My fat ass.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what the heroin addict's body's telling them: do fucking heroin.
Yeah.
Sometimes your body's dumb as fuck. All right. And it's just a creature. It's just a habit creature. And of course, if you consistently eat 4K calories a day, and as soon as you start dropping below 4K calories, which is twice as much shit, your body's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm starving, I'm hungry," but it's not. It's really not. It's just that you're changing your habit, and it doesn't like that. The thread, it blew my mind. It made me sad because it was almost nothing but people going, "What a waste of government money! What a waste of time! I can't believe I don't want to." And a lot of people are saying this is ruining eating out for me. I don't want to know. That's why I'm eating out. I'm like,
well, then let's put the calories in red print, and you put on some red glasses.
Perfect. There you go. Would you like the glasses with your menu?
Do you want the blinders to not have you informed about what you're putting in your body? It's like, it's so, dude, the resistance to
for the GLA.
By the way,
the resistance to the personal responsibility of being cognizant of the calories you put in your body is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if you suggest to somebody, well, you put too many calories in your body, the resistance of, or
here's an alternative. Maybe it's like, well, I can't do that. I resist. Like, well, I guess you're destined to be status quo. Like, it's like, well, you just keep doing what you're doing. You do you, which is the new expression, right? It's like, well, it's not new. I'm an old man, so it's new. But you do you is like, you know, you just no judgment either way. You just keep doing what you're gonna do, and but don't
and I am fine
don't
with that.
wonder
like,
why. Don't wonder why.
That's all that bothers me. Like,
the
I don't
information's
care if
there
people
now,
choose to
right?
eat 18,000 calories a day. That's totally fine. I just care when people take anti-scientific positions publicly and start spouting a bunch of nonsense justifying their personal choices. I'd much rather the guy just say, dude, fucking no way. I love pizza and pop too much. I don't care I'm fat. I like being fat. I don't give a fuck. That's who I am. I'm like, dude, good for fucking you.
Yeah.
I dig that attitude, man. I fucking dig that attitude. Own up that shit. Just don't start saying my genetics or my PCOS or fucking nothing I can do or societized me into being. Just fuck off, man. Just own it. Own it. It's you. You did it. It's your choices. Own it. That's fine, man.
Jeff, we're all gonna die one day. It's like, I don't know if he's trolling or if he's just being.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna die.
Comedic. It's like,
and
therefore heroin.
therefore heroin right away, right? It's like, you know,
That's great.
You make choices, and some are healthier choices and unhealthy. Like, I mean, obviously, I drink a lot of beer, right? That's
Yeah,
terrible.
right.
It's carcinogenic. It's making me stupid. It's killing my memory. It's costing me money.
It makes you fat.
It's a fucking stupid decision. But I choose to do it, and I own that decision. I'm not blaming anyone for it. It's my personal responsibility. I made that decision to be a fucking alcoholic.
Yeah, and I'm not complaining for people to put the alcohol content on the beer. It's like,
Yeah, take that percentage off. I don't want to know what I'm doing to myself. No, man, it's just it's the anti-science that bothers me because right, like that whole like health at every size shit, like that's worse to me than the anti-vax movement because it affects so many more people, and it's such dangerous. It's such a dangerous ideology because there are people that need help. Like the posts I've seen of like women saying, "Hey, like I need a new doctor you can recommend. My last 3 doctors keep telling me I need to lose weight, that they can't do the surgery because I'm too overweight. I just need to find a doctor that doesn't tell me I need to lose weight and blah blah blah." Like, and then all the support groups people like, "Your doctor's a fucking idiot. Read this book by Linda Bacon." As if that book isn't a fucking troll by an evil fucking 4chan guy. Writes a book under the pseudonym Linda Bacon telling every fat person in the world fat is healthy. And they're like, read Linda Bacon's book. And it's anyway. Yeah, a lot of shit's natural kills you, man. But the heroin thing. Anyways, this was important, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
And then this shit kept fucking up.
Oh yeah, we got
1 hour ago, but it was actually about 45 minutes. Beefcake 4000 donated $20 and said, "Let's see those socks, Jeff." Because you did say for $20 they can see your socks.
Beefcake, you still here?
He better. I will feel so bad if Beefcake's not here, man.
No. No. Do you want to see the socks on my feet, or the socks removed from my feet?
Get my socks ready, because fuck, I'm sure them too, man.
How do you want these socks?
I'll tell you what. Hey.
My socks, I'll have you know, are Buffalo designer socks. I'm taking all the pills out of them in the hair.
What's
Totally.
Beefcake isn't here, is he?
Well, he's gonna watch the VOD.
Fucking Beefcake.
Can you
failed Beefcake,
Can you
man.
move that over? They should give him his $20 back. Look at, dude. This is one of my socks. Buffalo.
Buffalo? Is that
Buffalo,
some, like,
dude. I got some knockoff socks.
Dude, is that some Chinese fucking...
Dude, there's some knockoff socks.
Wow.
I don't know.
Panasonic shit there, man.
Panasonic. Casio Q.
All right. Here's
Casio Q.
they're just black on the bottom. Nothing there but.
Dude, you got styling like.
Oh, I only wear good socks, man. I don't fuck around. I'm at a point in my life.
You're like, I'm gonna buy the good socks.
Actually, this was I'm about like 3-4 years into, like, as soon as a sock has even a small hole, it's garbage. It's done.
Dude,
I'm too fucking old to wear a pair of socks with a hole in it. Start right now. Fine socks, comfortable, fine cotton, great socks, man. Will improve your life. It's
Oh, dude. So you're Justin Trudeau with your socks, who has amazing socks. I'm gonna try to save my sock reputation. So it's Buffalo, a real name and a real brand, which I really bought.
at a real store. Buffalo, and then it's like, look, OB, it's or DB at the end. Look,
So what does that mean?
I don't fucking know, but I don't care. All I know is this is not Buffalo. it's Buffalo, dude. Google that. Is that a real thing? DB. Let me.
Yeah, Christmas is coming up. I'm about to replenish my sock collection, man. It's great. Every Christmas, that's all I ask for. And people used to think it was a joke, but it's really not a joke. I really enjoy getting socks. It's like, man, putting on a brand new pair of socks first time is I know I'm fucking old, man. But Buffalo David Benton.
David Benton, yeah.
Them some expensive
real
socks.
designer shit.
Damn.
Ooh. I got some expensive socks. And you know what it was? Jared, I had this revelation. I'm like, my socks have fucking holes in them. They're fucking Walmart socks. They're fucking garbage. I'm like, I am a man that can probably wear some, like, you know, like winner's socks. You know, like I could probably go to Winners.
Blue collar guys can't be spending tons of cash on socks when you work 10 hours a day in. I hear that kind of thing a lot, but those same blue collar guys that I see all the time, know a lot of them, get off work and smoke a pack of cigarettes and drink a fucking beer. Let me tell you, man, socks aren't that expensive. I hate hearing anyone complain about money as they drink a beer, smoke a cigarette, hit a bong hit or something. Like, I got no money. It's like, yeah, you fucking do. You just choose to not spend it on socks, right? I don't smoke the drugs. I buy the fucking socks. We're just choosing to spend our money in different ways. You know what I mean? That's all. I don't smoke cigarettes. Man, people that smoke, what's a pack of cigarette? Kind of $15 a pack?
I have
So
no
even at like
idea.
a half pack a day habit, which, you know, at least I used to consider pretty light back in the day, you're at $7 a day, $210 a month. At a half pack a day, $210 a month. Do you know how many fucking fine pairs of socks you can buy off a shitty little cigarette habit, man? Yeah, the smoke. Why is the smoking, the rate of smoking so high in like the blue collar communities? That the lower, the less money you make annually, right? The more likely you are to smoke cigarettes, right? And the less money you make, the more likely you are to complain about not having money. Yet, while you're more likely to be smoking cigarettes, that kind of shit, that gets in my head, man. I hate that. And again, if you want to smoke cigarettes, that's totally cool, but own that shit. Don't say you're broke. Just say, I choose to buy fucking smokes, man.
Yep.
Just say that. Fuck, man.
Just don't say, yeah. Don't say you can't afford that. You say, well, I don't prioritize that.
Yes, it's not a priority for me. And I would say that's because you don't know, man. But by the way, these socks are actually quite cheap. I like the looks of them. I like the Argyle. Is that this style, right? These ones aren't even name brand. Like these are like generic Argyle. But I dig it. You know, it's still fun. They're still better than like that really rough, cheap cotton. But man, I think this pair was like $3. Like, it's half a beer, man. It's they last like, quite a while. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I could smoke my replacement cigarettes. And yeah, but I don't even buy socks. I just get them for Christmas, man. I just get them for Christmas.
I got another story.
Dude, I was looking through your list. Holy fuck.
Don't I have a lot of shit to talk about?
Dude, it's getting pretty late. Like,
okay, so we'll cap this at 5 minutes.
are you available next Sunday?
Yeah, we'll do it next Sunday.
Because my last Sunday off for a while. And it would be the last opportunity we have before Christmas.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit to talk about. Did it pique your interest?
Oh my god, dude! I didn't even. You had that happened.
So here's the story.
Okay, you want to end on that one?
Okay, we'll end on the story. So here I am.
Oh, thank
driving
you,
my car.
Bebo. Yeah, Bebo Boop. I think he's the one that sent us the wasabi Ritz, the Japanese dude. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was delicious,
Yep,
Ritz.
Yep. Just a dad at Christmas. I get socks.
It was this amazing combination of familiar yet alien. It was like Ritz, but not the Ritz I know, but it was the real Ritz. It was really amazing. So anyway, here's my story, which Jared already knows the punchline to.
Yeah.
So I'm at a red light. I'm at a red light, and I'm driving my car, and spoiler alert, I get into an accident. Okay, now this accident happened as most accidents do, which is multiple failures. So I made a mistake. The other person also made a mistake at the same time, right? If either of us had not made our own individual mistakes, there would have been no problem. right? Independent of each other. But if, basically what I'm saying is we both made a mistake which necessitated the accident. If either of us had dodged our own mistakes individually, there would have been no accident. So here's what happened. I was at a red light, turned green, I waited, and I advanced a little bit in my car, and I waited for the oncoming cars to come, because I was turning. I'm turning left and in my intersection. What I didn't know was that I had an advanced green arrow, right? So I moved up a bit, and I waited when I shouldn't have. I should have just gone. And I was like, why aren't these motherfuckers going? These motherfuckers, what the fuck? And then crunch. Whoa. Whoa, whoa.
So you started going on advanced screen,
Yeah.
and the guy behind you started going, and then didn't realize that you just...
Exactly, right? So
Okay, it's kind of a granny thing, Jeff. Bit of granny.
exactly, I'm big time grand.
Yeah.
My mistake, fully own that mistake. But fortunately, as far as traffic law is concerned, if you get rear-ended, it's never your fault, no matter what the fuck. So legally, I was clear, but whatever. Morally, you can judge me. Go ahead, judge me, whatever. So here's what the other person did. The other person, he got out of his car after the collision. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because we're in Canada. He's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "I'm sorry." Or, "No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And we're all like, "Oh my god!" Like, what's? Oh, subscribe.
Koala Puncher.
Koala
Hey.
Puncher. Thank you for punching koalas,
Yeah,
man.
man, look at that.
And then so we're like, we pulled over. We're like, near the Canadian Tire. Can't get more Canadian. And we pulled in the Canadian Tire parking lot, and we started talking, and he was like, oh man, I saw you start to go. This is what he said to me. I saw you start to go. And then I went, and then I was looking down. And I was like, what? You were looking down? And I look over at his car, and on the passenger seat is his phone. So... And I'm like...
That's when the anger starts to bubble.
it wasn't anger. It wasn't anger because this guy was feeling really bad. If he had been defensive, I would have been angry. But he was just like... And then I was looking down. So this guy was behind me, which is fine. All right. The green arrow went. He's like, okay, this guy's going. I started to go. He started to go. And he looked down at his phone.
During a turn.
Right? And so I'm sitting here. Oh, it's so not my fault. He never thought it was my fault. It's zero my fault.
Oh, nice.
The only reason why I bring this up is it's the thing everybody knows not to do. It's the thing everybody tells you not to do. It's the thing you do not do. You do not look at your fucking phone when you're driving. When it's a fucking garbage text message that you
Shit,
can...
I'm popping chest,
Dude, it's the thing you don't do. Everybody knows this. So here's a guy that has to tell me. He has to be like, so I did the thing that everyone knows not to do and everyone knows is stupid and I did it, and he has to tell me it. And I was embarrassed for him. I'm like, okay.
But
well.
relieved, right? Because if he wasn't looking at his phone and he was looking down road and said that he was just double checking and then he hit you because you stopped when you should have stopped, he could have had a pretty good case there, right? Wouldn't he be able to tell the cops, like, the guy stopped mid-turn and I was looking the other way to check for traffic?
So,
no?
2 points. First of all,
I'm not
how is he looking around and not noticing that there's a car in front of him where he's going?
Well, I almost got hit once. Okay. Turning into Safeway, the back there, Southern Crossing.
Yeah.
I'm taking a left turn into a parking lot. There's someone coming out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
This woman looked left down the road,
Yeah.
right down the road, and drove straight out into me. And I watched it happen because I was watching her head. So fortunately, I said, she didn't even fucking look forward. She drove, I just slammed on the gas, and she just barely missed me, and I had to like drive around the block and like miss my turn. But if I wasn't so defensive, if I literally wasn't watching her face, and I saw her not see me, she drove straight out. So that's how, man. Yeah, she literally did this and drove forward. And
Okay, so it can happen.
Yeah,
But-
it can happen. Yeah,
But if you are rear-ended, you are not at fault. And
that's right. I think that's pretty blanket, right?
It is.
Oh no,
It's the
Derek
law.
stopped in a merge lane, and he was at fault, wasn't he?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There was, I mean,
But-
there's some exceptions, but
So,
Yeah.
so, but like, so,
I was looking at my car and I'm like, I'm assessing the damage. I'm like, what is this? $1,000? Is it $0? Like, I don't know. So I'm looking at it, and he's like, you know what? I'll pop into Canadian Tire. I'll get you a whatever paint touch-up thing. We'll get the blue color. We'll, you know. And I looked at it and I was like, you know, and I was like, what? Do you have the time for that? And he's like, well, I was going to work, you know, blah blah blah. And I felt bad. I'm like, oh, this guy's like, I don't want him to be late for work because he rear-ended me and has to, you know, touch up my paint, right? So basically what happened was, like, I was like, okay, whatever, man, it's all good, you know. Bumpers are meant to be bumped, right? It was very low speed, whatever. No crunching or damage or whatever, right? So I said, you know what? Give me your number. If there's a problem, I'll call you. Here's my number. You know, we exchanged. You know,
So fucking Canadian.
you know,
Yeah, that's good.
and then I went to my destination, which was the grocery store, right? And that was, you know, and his work was stocking shelves at the grocery store, and there he was. He's putting stuff on the shelves of the grocery store. And I was like, at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't make this guy late for his job, and products weren't late, and he wasn't in trouble, and you know.
Yeah.
And what did I have to do? My priorities was to shop at a place where he was providing the products, you know. So I'm like, I have.
So did you talk to
I
him
have
in there
time.
too?
No, I
No.
avoided him. I was like so embarrassed to look at him. I'm like, I'm like, I don't want to remind him that he crashed me or anything, you know. I'm just like, I just like, holy shit, there's the guy, you know. So I was like went around his bottle, the stuff I wanted to buy, but like, you know, at the end of the day, it's about the human aspects of, like, you know, I don't want to start a big insurance claim if this guy's going to be out of pocket for a scratch in my dent, you know, spend $1,000, you know, de-scratching my bumper or whatever, you know. Like, and he was very kind and offered, but, you know, but at the same time, the main thing that stuck with me was that this man did the thing. He knows not to do it. He knows not to look at
But
his
so
phone.
many
It's like,
people do it, man.
But
I see so many
but-
people on their
but
phone.
they know not to do it.
Oh, they know not to. Yes.
It's like so when
It's
it
actually-
happens. So
isn't
when
it
it happens.
statistically-
So when it happens, don't you say, "Yeah, I did the thing I know I'm not supposed to do. Fuck me." Like, just have all my money. Don't you just throw your money at the guy you crashed when you were on your phone?
No, you say, I'm really sorry, I'll cover the damages. You don't have to be dramatic with money throwing.
But
and
like,
shit. You know,
but like,
pick it
yeah,
up.
it's hyperbole, but it's like,
I was.
yeah, you're.
But
It's-
yeah, man, and statistically, isn't it more dangerous than drinking and driving? Like, aren't you more likely to kill people? Like,
I
now
don't know the
I can't.
statistics.
Maybe
Let me
someone
Google
can
that for you,
Google
but,
that for you. But,
but like-
that was some mother's knee shit I had heard recently, and I wonder if that's true because
But it was-
if he had a bottle of whiskey there, you might have called the police.
Exactly.
But
right?
but the bottle of whiskey was less dangerous than him popping his Clash Royale chest.
Which is
you know what I mean?
exactly the point.
Yeah.
And in fact, my social, like his apologeticness made me feel so bad that my social,
You know not to stop on the green arrow now.
my
See, right? Yeah,
my,
go
my
for it.
social inclination was like to diffuse it because. But should I have been like, you know, you texted and drove, you fucking bet you're gonna kill a child in a car seat, like you're gonna baby on board somebody, and kill, you know. But like, you know, like should I have done? Should I have done that? Should he have felt that level of shame because it was a deliberate choice to break the law in a very dangerous way? But whatever, you know, it's like I also didn't green arrow turn, right?
Yep.
I was just not thinking, right? So I made a mistake, but the difference is that I didn't make the mistake. I knew I was making the mistake at the time. It's like when you read your phone on your car, you're like, I am making a mistake, right? It's like,
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
whereas I was like, I'm driving very safe. I think that's what I thought.
One of the problems to the what's I guess a little bit ironic is that the most unsafe thing about texting and driving isn't the phone or the use of the phone. People can use their stereos. People fiddle with shit, but their eyes are on the road. It's the fact that you're taking your eyes off the road. The reason you're taking
can
your eyes
leave your
off
phone- it's 'cause
the
you're
road
hiding
is because
it.
it's illegal, because you're hiding it. So you're doing this. If you could text and drive and hold your phone up here as you're driving with the road behind you, it would be like 50 times safer. And it may be the case that making it legal would be safer. I think it's very unlikely. I'm just saying that some things in life are counterintuitive. Like bicycle helmet laws in Australia resulting in far more people being injured, killed, or having premature death due to all the hilariously correlated factors, right? It's a very interesting study, the bicycle helmet experiment in Australia. And I guess maybe you're still forcing people to wear them. I don't know. That should amaze me. Sometimes it's not so black and white, right? Actually, the bicycle helmet thing blows my mind to this day because there's such a disconnect. Like there's actually like no evidence, right, that suggests that it helps a community, a society, or even a person to wear one. But yet, if you don't, you're a total idiot, and et cetera, in Canada. And which in fact was part of what I absolutely loved about the Netherlands, which 800% of the people there ride a bike all day, and nobody has a helmet. I saw guys on their bike in traffic flying, man, I'm talking 40 kilometers an hour, ripping. They have a cell phone in one hand, eating a fucking apple, biking with no hands, no helmet, and they're ripping down the street and there's cars ripping everywhere. Like, I thought I was going to die like 50 times in Amsterdam. But people aren't dying everywhere. Like, fuck, look at that. Like, nobody's dying. And I learned in Amsterdam that the Dutch actually think they will laugh at you for wearing a helmet. Like, it's mocking level of embarrassing behavior. I thought that was interesting. I don't wear a helmet when I bike because I did a bunch of research and was like, oh shit, like it's the probability of being in an accident in which you suffered a head injury that would have been prevented by a helmet that caused death or anything it's so incredibly low that you're far more likely to just be struck by lightning on your fucking bike or anything else. There's so many factors to consider, but I think the most telling and like the only one you need is this: you are 3 times more likely to suffer a helmet preventable head injury driving an automobile than you are riding a bicycle. 3 times more likely to suffer a helmet preventable head injury through minor collisions and bang your head. So if you wear a helmet on your bike but not driving your car, you might be a hypocrite. And you might want to, I guess, to be consistent, get a fucking car helmet. And I would expect they'll probably start selling those pretty soon here anyways. Even though the cars will drive themselves, it's a great opportunity to mandate a new helmet law and make people, if you're getting into an automobile, you got to put your helmet on. I tell people when they ask, why aren't you wearing a helmet? Sometimes people are therefore like, oh, you don't wear a helmet. Look at you, you stupid. And I don't want to mess my hair up, right? I'll run with this stupid thing. I don't want to sit down and explain to them that actually wearing a helmet's stupid as fuck. But, it was interesting what happened in Australia because they made mandatory bike helmets. And what happened is a majority of people just stopped riding their bicycle. And then when they looked in the bigger picture, there was like rising obesity, rising healthcare costs. And the obesity and the healthcare actually ended up being more damaging than the average amount of like bicycle accidents, that head injuries, helmet preventable bicycle head injuries, because that's all it really is, right? Like, and most people that die from bicycle collisions, by the way, it's chest compression. It's usually when you're struck by a car. It's very few people actually die from head injuries on their bicycle. You're also significantly more likely to crack your head walking on an icy sidewalk in the winter in Canada, particularly if you're elderly. It happens every year. If you're elderly and you're walking on the street in the winter not wearing a helmet, you're stupid. And in fact, and again, if you want to dive into it, you could probably think about for 1 hour and come up with dozens of other places that you really should be wearing a helmet then, huh? If it's such a no-brainer on a bike, then why is everything else you let that stuff go, even when it's more likely to kill you? It's always interesting to me, man. But I've got wicked hair, so that's why I wear the toque, because my hair's so good. But anyways, T-Sally, I think I linked. I will find the study. I went down the rabbit hole. This was like a few years ago because around a poker game we had this huge discussion about bicycle helmets and safety, because half of us wore them and half of us didn't, kind of thing. And the people that didn't wear them don't say shit. They don't really judge the bicycle helmet wearers. The reason I say that helmet wearers are stupid now is because that's actually me. I don't actually care. I just like to make them feel what they try to make me feel. But it's funny because the bicycle helmet people, very pretentious, right? They're very and very mocking, and they like to call the other poker players stupid, right? And we sat there and were called stupid, and our feelings were hurt. But anyways, yeah, I went down the rabbit hole and I found a bunch of different shit. You can just say, I can't remember the exact, that's why I'm pulling out like 3 times out of my ass, but I'm not exactly sure how the studies were conducted. Maybe they weren't even scientifically sound, right? Maybe it's all wrong. Either way, I'm not putting on a fucking helmet on my bicycle. It's really, it's okay. I'm so much more likely to die in so many other ways. So much more like, man, really cars are the biggie. Injuries in car accidents, it's amazing. When you look at accidental death statistics, the fact that we don't take car safety even more seriously than we do, like really. Yeah, if you wear a helmet. By the way, Sully, for the record, if I was biking across the country on the fucking Trans-Canada Highway, I'd actually wear a helmet, because that's what you're doing. Like you're like, I'm cycling I'm gonna cycle, but I'm talking. I'm going to the grocery store down residential roads. Like it's kind of insane, right? But maybe Tony, maybe that's a good correlation, man. Don't try to swing us back there, Tony. I know you want to, man. I know you love it. You say you don't, but you love it, man. He's like, talk about Trump. Just fucking. Hunter, H92. Mashinsky, probably because more people drive. Mashinsky, no, that's not how likeliness probably works. It's naturally corrected for population, right? It's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're not just looking at like total numbers. Like it's like 3 times more people, right? Then it'd be like, then you'd have to look at, well, how many people are doing the thing. But when you're talking about 3 times more likely for something to happen, it doesn't matter the number of people, right? You're just looking at a probability.
You want to know more stream topics? I don't know if we send segue. Maybe we should just like end it. I don't know. It's 9:30.
I gotta go to bed, to be honest, man.
Yeah.
I'm in rough shape. I have not been sleeping enough for well. I spent the night in Toronto last night, and I had just the most awful sleep. I was so tired this morning driving that tennis tournament that I almost threw up.
What? From tired?
When's the last time you were so tired? And speaking of, we were talking about unsafe driving, and was it Tony? Someone mentioned that tired driving is more dangerous than drunk driving. And like, yeah, man, I wasn't quite that bad this morning. Like I was awake. I was just nauseous. Like my body was like, what the fuck are you doing? Out of bed on the highway, like right away, right? Because I had to get up at 6:30 to do this fucking test tournament.
But if you're tired, you just get some caffeine, right? You get some coffee.
I had a Rockstar.
Yeah.
And no, but it was the nausea. I take a sip and I actually gagged and almost threw up on myself while driving a car. What do you do in that situation? Have you ever thrown up while driving? Dude, so it was that. It was like me with my head to the back, like window down, like with the rhythmic breathing, just trying to like, oh man, oh, so terrible, from tired. Once I woke up and I finished my coffee.
How late did you stay up there the night before?
Well, here's the problem. I stayed up until like
watching The Walking Dead. Is such a
no, I was playing fucking Clash.
Oh.
Well, I was at Ursula's, right? And there was a Clash event that ended last night. This big 20-win challenge, and some really big prizes. As soon as you get to like 12, 10 wins, at least like 15K and 14 wins. And I just wanted to get at least one of the. So I did. I grabbed my 15K. Yeah. But it took me till like 1:30 in the morning, which was stupid. Jared's dumb. But that would have been fine. It's just that after that I couldn't sleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I got up at 4, and I couldn't sleep. It was just like mental. And that would have been fine. I do that all the time. Mm-hmm. I have a 1-year-old. It's just that it's on the 3rd day compounding. You can't get 3 hours a night for 3 days straight. Like I think in the last 3 days have had a cumulative amount of sleep that I normally get in like 1. And this morning, my body was fighting back, man. Yeah. So actually, when like I was like,
Jeff wants to stream. Fuck.
I told Stacy, I told her, I'm like, I'm gonna be in bed before you tonight, man. And I lied because I thought we were streaming until about 7.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was actually gonna be in bed out like by 8.
Let's call the stream. We gotta cut it off, guys.
Because we got puking level tired here.
Yeah.
But actually, what's funny is because the anxiety of streaming, like the rush of
it keeps going.
This and the 2 beer, I'm like, I feel significantly less tired. But as soon as I get in that car and start driving, man, I'm gonna boom.
Okay, so tentatively, we're gonna stream 7 days from now, next Sunday, because we have time. And I hope we can do it.
Stop.
We got so much more to talk about. We got to stream.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad you have so many. That's really smart. I need to make a list.
Make a Google Doc.
Well, we should share a
shit
Google Doc
happens.
because even reading some of your stuff might, like treat it like writing. So it's like, oh, that triggered a great idea for me.
This
Because
this is hilarious.
Oh,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll do it real quick.
oh,
Because we're in the end of our 30s, right?
yeah.
And we are aging 8 years and 2 years.
I
wanna
can't believe
talk
how
about
quickly I'm aging.
Dude, we are aging. This is
Yeah,
what
you look
happens.
old as fuck.
Dude, I'm fucking old.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
You might get that
So I
fucking,
was
dye shit.
I need to fucking dye my hair. So you can't tell it's black and white, but hey, I look great in black and white.
Oh,
but
that's
anyway-
why we're black and white, man.
So-
We'll keep it this way.
so-
by the way, sorry, because I just don't want to forget.
Oh yeah.
We had Madaku who subscribed with Twitch Prime, and then Koala Puncher. Thanks, guys. We do really appreciate
Thank
that.
you,
I'm glad
Koala.
the announcements
Tier
are
1.
working now too, man.
So anyway, I was on a plane, and you know the plane, it's like no room in the bathroom. You're like super tight, and you're all close to the mirror. And I looked in the mirror, and I was like, "There's gray neck hairs. All my neck hairs are gray. Like I gotta, all these. Like, you're looking at my neck hairs. You've probably seen some gray shit, right?
Dude, come on,
Dude." And I'm like, dude. And I started.
I like this black
I
and
started
white
freaking out. I'm like, gray pubes.
Do you have gray pubes?
I don't.
Okay, because I
But-
don't have that shit.
But when they do, this is the thing. You know you're done because there is no porn with gray pubes that isn't fetish, right?
Oh, okay.
You know that.
I'm into the grandpa babysitter porn. That's my
Dude,
thing, Jeff.
you-
Let me tell you. There's some,
when the only porn of you is fetish porn, you're done, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like when if your pubes go gray.
Although
like,
to be fair, having pubes is kind of is
I know.
literally fetish porn now.
I know,
Yeah.
and in fact,
Of any color.
I said that to my wife. I was like, I'm worried about having gray pubes because I'll be an old man. I'll be fetish porn.
Shave it.
And she was like, why would you have pubes at all? And I was like, of course, of course, no pubes. Of course, you can't tell how old I am because I've shaved my pubes.
Ah!
My balls are shave your balls from Orgasmo. It's like shave your balls. So yeah, it's like. Yeah, man. We are aging 8 years and 2 years. We're doing it.
Yeah.
It's like our
I'm falling right apart.
your early 30s are amazing. It's like your David Duchovny X-Files plateau.
Yeah.
Right? He did the X-Files for 7 seasons, and then 8 seasons. It's like, oh my God, he's getting old, right? But or whatever, David Duchovny just started aging, right? But that's what happens, and it's amazing. We had our plateau of. You guys don't age. And it's like, well, you just aren't looking at us in high enough resolution and enough color saturation. So, but isn't that brutal?
But speaking of porn,
Yeah.
you can learn a lot by default porn search results. You go to Pornhub or something like that, right?
Oh,
Look
about
at the main
how-
page. So I just want to ask the question: am I the only one in the world not into incest?
Oh, dude, I want to say the same thing.
Am I?
Pornhub.
Go right now. What's the percentage on their main page of dad fucking daughter, brother fucking sister, mom fucking son? It's all incest, dude. And obviously, I'm in the minority. They wouldn't all be those results. Right?
Even soft incest, like swapping daughters, 2 fathers
Yeah.
at a camping trip.
Yeah.
It's like
I saw that one.
Dude, it's like I don't want that. It's like I just want regular porn.
You want to swap, dude? Written by a guy who's never had a daughter. Pretty sure, man. Pretty sure my friends with daughters would not be swapping them.
Dude, it's like
Oh.
it's not hot
Wow.
to me to be like, well, I'm your sister. This is terrible. I'm like massaging your penis with my tits.
This is so bad.
This is bad. I'm
And
your
it's always the bad.
sister.
It's always the same lines. But I'm your brother. But I know. Oh.
Man, I it's always the same lines. How much of this have you watched? But honestly, I didn't add this to stream topics because I was worried that it was AIing my mind. I was worried I was secretly into this.
You know what? As I started saying the words out loud, it crossed my mind that, like, does that say something about my porn search habits? But the reason I felt confident saying it is because I've never in my life searched dad, fucks daughter, whatever, blah blah blah.
You don't need. Yeah, you don't have.
And the only reason I've ever watched any of them and know anything about it's just because I know they're actors and they're not actually mother daughter, and she's hot. That's it.
Maybe
Right?
everyone's turned
Dad's
on.
old, I'm old, daughter's young, hot. I'm like, I can relate. Just ignore the title of the video. mute it.
Maybe everyone's turned on by the fact that they know it's people playing a dad or daughter or brother or sister, right? Maybe people are like, well, dude, you're not taking porn literally. You don't believe it, but it's like,
yeah,
like,
but man,
like, I want to get engrossed in my porn, man. I want to believe the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah,
I want to believe. And there was actually a porn I saw recently where the woman was a great actress. She was like good. She was like better than the average people I see auditions from. And I was like, you're doing porn? Like, you're not bad. Like, it's like, but anyway, it was good to see some good porn. Yeah, maybe we'll work together someday. This porn actress and me directing porn. Who knows? But yeah, anyway, it was really interesting that, like, I thought the same thing too. I was like, dude, is Pornhub thinking I'm into incest? And like, dude, the stepbrother level of porn. It's like, how many stepbrothers are there and stepsisters? Like, it's like,
yeah.
and do they bang?
Who?
Stepbrothers and stepsisters in real life.
I don't know, but if they do, I don't have a problem with it. Not. I mean, I actually don't even have a problem with real brothers and sisters banging. I don't. I'm not judging, man. I'm whatever.
But,
I just mean that, like, it's. I can't believe it's apparently the most wanted thing in the world in terms of porn searching, man. It's I can't believe it, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that you brought up porn, and that's been on my mind for like the last month, man. Is what happened to porn?
Back in the day, there was talk of a Pwnage Chatterbait stream. I remember that.
That's
right. Two women masturbating behind us, and we'd be like, "Oh, so we get viewers now.
Dude,
Let's
we
talk."
should fucking do that. Let's do it, man. I liked stepsister porn, then I got a real stepsister, then it was just weird. Yeah, but was she hot though, man? You know.
Where is the weirdest from? Yeah. All right, guys, we got to sign off. We got to call it a night. We got to go to bed. Old men, we aged 2 years and 8 years and 2 years, so we're yeah. Oh, clipped.
Later, friends. I mean, later, Sully.
It's not hard to me to be like, well, I'm your sister. This is terrible.
Those are nice tits, Jeff.
This is so bad. And it's always it's always the same lines, but I'm your brother. But I know.
Good clip, man. All right, guys, we really got to go. We'll do it again real soon, hopefully, if our schedules allow. Oh, what's this? Oh, some Korean talk show.
Hey, congrats on your 20 wins, Case Bang. I had a dream last night that you hit 20. That's sick, disgusting. I got my 15K. Went to bed, but Case Bang hit. That's mental. But Case Bang's in the clan.
Nice.
And he hit 20 win challenge. That is 20 wins before you lose 3.
Oh,
you know
he's better than average.
And
by far.
as you get to 13 and 14, you're only playing other people who are also at 13 and 14.
Ah.
So the quality of people in those last few games is usually pretty fucking crazy. At that point, it's pretty lottery, though. You better hope to have a good matchup because everyone's so good that they're going to exploit any, like, deck. You know?
Crazy.
Anyway. 250K, man. All that. God, wish you could give me that money. I know you would if you could, but. Yes, man.
All right, you guys. We're out of here. We're calling it a night.
Oh, I gotta do it. Hold on.
See ya.
Wouldn't want it.